يا الطارش يا المعنى خط بكتابك الترحيب لو سرابك ليلك وجنة بالدجا في الليل تسري يا الطارش.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا، إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam and dear viewers, we continue our topic, inshallah, which is talking about the different aspects in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala manifests His divine mercy, which is by opening. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has opened for us the ways and gates to come to Him and turn to Him for to get His mercy and to get His forgiveness, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we'll continue talking about the kafarat, or the expiations, or the things that will expiate, our sins. Among these expiators or kafarat is the nafil fast, siyam al-tatawwa, the nafil fast, voluntary fast, optional fast, because fast or fasting are two types or two categories. Obligatory one, which is, we call it fard, which is Ramadan. That's the only fard, which is Ramadan. And of course, the other types of fast are obligatory, but they are different. For example, if you vow to fast, you have to fulfill it, and it is obligatory, etc. So mainly you have fard fast, like Ramadan, and you have the optional or nafil, voluntary fast. So we are talking here not about the obligatory one, which is Ramadan. We are talking here about the optional ones. And the reward is so great. So inshallah, after Ramadan, we carry on doing these different types of fast. In one beautiful hadith, which is reported by Imam Bukhari in his Sahih, he said, the Prophet ﷺ, Allah said, and this is Hadith Qudsi. This is called Hadith Qudsi, because the Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ are two types, Qudsi and prophetic. So Hadith Nabawi, Hadith Qudsi. What is the difference between the two? The Hadith Qudsi, the meaning is from Allah. The wordings are the Prophet's wordings. So this is the criterion. The criterion that the wordings or the content of the hadith is from Allah, but the Prophet ﷺ, he puts it in his own words. Whereas the prophetic hadith, both the wordings and the meanings are the Prophet's, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is Hadith Qudsi, where the Prophet ﷺ is saying, Allah said. When you come across a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ says, Allah said, so this is Hadith Qudsi. And of course, not all the Hadith Qudsis are authentic. So it is the same criterion applied for the prophetic hadiths should be applied also for the Qudsi hadith, which means the authenticity of the isnad and also the authenticity of the matin or the content. So this hadith we have is authentic hadith Qudsi. Allah said, I will declare war against him who shows his hostility to a pious worshipper of mine. And the dearest things with which my servant seeks proximity, closeness to me, is what I have enjoyed upon him. And my servant keeps on coming closer to me through voluntary deeds till I love him, so I become his sense of hearing, which he hears, his sense of sight, with which he sees, his hand with which he grips, his leg with which he walks, and if he asks me, I will give him. And if he asks my protection, I will protect him. This is by Bukhari. So now, my dear brothers and sisters, let us reflect on this beautiful hadith. And let us make it a habit. When we come across a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, we should try to understand the general meaning of that hadith and what can we learn from it and what are the benefits that can be deduced from such hadith. So in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ is telling us Allah Azza wa Jal is declaring, announcing war. He is fighting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, announcing war with whom? Against he who shows hostility to the awliya of Allah. Okay? The awliya of Allah, Allah's friends. Who are Allah's awliya? Who are Allah's friends? Many Muslims, if you ask him, who is the wali? The criterion they have, the wali is the one who performs miracles, such as walking on the water or flying or doing strange things, supernatural things. No, that's not necessarily the sign of the wali. The sign of the wali is the one who abides by the law of Allah. He abides by the Sharia and he follows the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. In other words, the awliya are the scholars, the ulama. Imam Shafi'i said, Al-awliya, al-ulama'u hum awliya'ullah. The scholars of Islam are Allah's awliya. If the scholars are not Allah's awliya, I don't know any wali, Imam Shafi'i said. So this is the right criterion, that the scholars of Islam, the pious ones, those who are practicing the deen, fearing Allah to the best of their ability, they are Allah's awliya. And whoever fights Allah's awliya, whoever fights the ulama, Allah is going to wage war against him. So he is in a losing battle because he is fighting Allah's awliya. And Allah is their defender. And he is going to lose in this life and in the life to come. So we have to understand here that the ulama are the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they are the inheritors, of the prophethood, the inheritors of the prophets. Not the wali is the one who walk on the water or eat hot charcoal. No, that's not the wali. Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah compiled a beautiful book called Al-Furqan Bayna Awliya al-Rahman wa Awliya al-Shaytan. The criterion between Allah's allies, Allah's friends, and the devil's friends. And the story behind the compilation of the book, why he compiled the book, there was a man in Damascus. He would jump from the top of the mountain of Gassion. He would jump from the top of the mountain and he would land on the plain, and the people would say, this is one of Allah's awliya. And Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah said, no, he's not one of Allah's awliya, he's a wali of the shaitan. The jinn, the shayateen, the devils are the ones carry him. That's why Imam Shafi'i said, إذا رأيتم الرجل يطير في الهواء أو يمشي على الماء فلا تصدقوه حتى تعرضوه على الكتاب والسنة. Imam Shafi'i said, if you see a man flying in the sky or walking on the water, don't believe him. Don't believe him till you check him against the Kitab and Sunnah. Is this man following the Quran and the Sunnah? And then he walked in the water, then it is karama for him, as it happened for Sayyidina Al-Ala ibn al-Hadrami. But if he is not following Quran and Sunnah, and he's doing these things, definitely he is dealing with the jinn. And the jinn are the ones who carry him. So the awliya of Allah, my dear brothers and sisters, they are the scholars, the ulama. The ulama are the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah in the Quran told us and gave us the definition of the awliya by saying, أَلَا إِنَّ أَوْلِيَاءَ اللَّهِ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Who are they? الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. So this is the definition of the wali. Verily, Allah's friends, Allah's allies, لا خوف عليهم. They will not have fear on the day of resurrection. Neither fear nor grief on that day. Who are they? الذين آمنوا. So this is the definition. This is the key word. If you want to know the wali. الذين آمنوا, those who believe. وكانوا يتقون, and they were muttaqin us by saying, من عاد لي وليا فقد آذنته بالحرب. If you fight any one of my awliya, I wage war against you. Then the Prophet ﷺ moved and he said, and the best deed you can do, because a questioner asked us yesterday, so this is the answer. What is the best thing that you should do in sorting out the priorities? And he said the best deed, the dearest thing to Allah, with which my servant can get close to me, is that which I have enjoined upon him, the fard, that which I imposed on him or her. Then the hadith goes on, and my servant keeps drawing near to me, getting closer to me, through voluntary deeds. Nawafil, that's here related to the title. The nawafil, the more nawafil you do, the more nafils you do, the more optional, more than the obligatory ones, more than the fard, the sunan, nafils, then the more you do voluntary acts, you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So much so, and this is the beauty of this beautiful hadith. Allah says, And my servant keeps getting closer to me through my voluntary deeds until I love him. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. By drawing near to Allah and doing good deeds, Allah loves you. And that is what we want. We want Allah to love us. Allahumma love us, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We beg you to love us. We beg you to grant us tawfiq, success. Give us hidayah to remain worshipping you without associating anyone with you. Grant us the sincerity, the ikhlas, O Allah. Allahumma ameen. So Allah loves you. When Allah loves you, see what happens. So I become كنت سمعه الذي يسمع به. Allah. So I become his sense of hearing. What does it mean? That Allah becomes your sense of hearing. It means now you are a true servant of Allah. So he protects your hearing from listening to the haram. So the faculty, the sense of hearing is used only for listening to what pleases Allah. So a person who doesn't listen to the ghibah, slandering, backbiting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting him from that. So when Allah becomes your sense of hearing, he protects your faculty of hearing from listening to the haram. No music, no backbiting, no slandering, subhanallah. Many of the ulama, when we read in their biographies, they say, some of the students they wrote, I sat with my Sheikh 30 years, 20 years, and I never heard in his gathering, in his circle, ghibah. And he would not allow anyone to backbite or slander. He would not. This is the norm and the character of the ulama rabbaniyin, the true scholars who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't allow ghibah in their circles about any Muslims. They stop the people from doing that because Allah has protected their sense of hearing. So, but this is the fruit you will not achieve except if you are getting closer and closer to Allah by doing more voluntary acts. So Allah becomes your sense of hearing with which he hears, so you don't hear the haram. His sense of sight, again, he protects your sight from seeing the haram. Subhanallah. One of our mashayikh said, he's talking about another sheikh who passed away, rahimahullah, in Egypt. He said, when we come to the sheikh and we complain to him, corruption everywhere, sheikh, nowadays, women are not dressed decently, etc. He would tell us, subhanallah, this is what our Sheikh Muhammad Hussein Yaqub told us about Sheikh Abu Dhar, rahimahullah. He said, the Sheikh would tell us, I don't see what you are complaining, what you are seeing, I don't see it. Subhanallah. So the Sheikh Muhammad Hussein Yaqub said, we said, Allahu Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who protects your sight from seeing the haram. So this is Allah's blessing. So I become his sense of hearing with which he hears, his sense of sight which he sees, his hand with which he grips. Even your hand, all these limbs now, they are under the control, under your control, so you don't use them in anything haram. His hand with which he grips and his leg with which he walks. Your leg will not walk to the haram. Your leg will not take you to a place where the haram is committed. You will not go to places where people are sinning. We read in the biography of Urwa ibn Zubayr radiallahu anhu, though when it comes to the isnad, there is slight defect, but the ulama, they say when it comes to the seerah, we don't apply the criterion of the hadith totally. So the story that Urwa ibn Zubayr had a disease in his leg, and the doctor decided to amputate it. And he refused to take a medicine that will intoxicate him. So they cut him while he was praying. And then they took him to his house. And when they entered his house, one of his children fell from the top of the house, of the roof, and died. Now those around him, they were reluctant what to tell him, how to soothe him. He lost one leg, and now he lost one child. Subhanallah. They said, no. He will take it. His iman is strong. So they told him, may Allah reward you for losing your leg and losing your son. He said, Alhamdulillah. He took one leg and he left the other. And he took one child and he left the rest. And then he told them, by Allah, Allah is my witness, this leg which you amputated never walked to the haram. All the years, it is only knowing the place and the way to the masjid. So that is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects you, and his leg with which he walks. And if he asks me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, because now you are Abd Rabbani, you are a servant, a true servant of Allah, I will give him. And if he asks my protection, I will protect him. So this beautiful hadith, my dear brothers and sisters, talks about the importance of the nafil, prayers. Also, he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is in Sunan ibn Majah, and it is Hasan hadith. He said, whoever fasts in the cause of Allah will keep the fire away. One day, Allah will keep the fire away from his face a distance of 70 years for that day. Subhanallah. What day? You fast one day, Allah removes your face away from the hellfire, a distance that will be covered in 70 years, just by fasting one day, like Monday, Thursday, one day. And now, my dear brothers and sisters, we'll just go quickly about some of those optional or voluntary fasts that we should train ourselves and start practicing. For example, and this is the best practice, this is the best type of fast, which is the fast of Dawood alayhi salam. The Prophet ﷺ said, and this is in Bukhari and Muslim, he said, the best kind of fast to Allah is the fast of Dawood alayhi salam. And the best prayer to Allah is the salah of Dawood alayhi salam. He used to sleep for half of the night, then stand in prayer for 1/3 of the night, and sleep for its remaining 6. And he used to fast a day and give up fasting for a day. So this is what our Prophet Dawood alayhi salam used to do. His prayer is the best and his fast is the best. So you fast today, next day you don't fast. You fast the day after that. So this is one of the nafil fast. Also to fast the 3 days of every month. Fasting 3 days of every month. Preferably al-ayyam al-bid, which we call them the white days. The reason they are called white days, which is 13, 14, and 15, because the moon will be full. So it is everywhere there is light. That's why they are called the white days, al-ayyam al-bid. So Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, my friend Khalili, my dearest friend, he meant the Prophet ﷺ, Khalili, and this is in English, of course, English is a poor language. It doesn't convey the exact meaning of the word Khalil. Khalil is one who is very, 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 very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the closest to your heart. Like Khalil al-Rahman, Ibrahim alayhi salam. So he said, my Khalil entrusted me with 3 things. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah is telling us that my beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he advised me, he gave me this piece of advice, and he mentioned 3 things. To fast 3 days of every month. To fast 3 days of every lunar month. Lunar month. That's number 1. Number 2, to offer 2 rak'ah, duha prayer. Allahu Akbar. The duha prayer, my dear brothers and sisters, we know we have 360 limbs, and you have to give zakah for every limb, every day, charity, the charity. And what suffice, what can be equivalent, sadaqah for all the 360 limbs is 2 rak'ahs after the sunrise. So make it your habit, my dear brothers and sisters. Every day, 2 rak'ahs. After the sun rises above the horizon, pray 2 rak'ahs. This is what the Prophet ﷺ advised Abu Hurairah. To offer the duha 2 rak'ah prayer. And the third one, to pray the witr. The witr. Before I go to bed. This is muttafaq alayh, agreed upon. Agreed upon. Agreed upon, muttafaqun alayh means what? It means both Imam Bukhari and Muslim agreed upon the same isnad. There's a difference between agreed upon and reported by Bukhari and Muslim. They're not the same. Agreed upon, it is the same companion reported the hadith. It is the same isnad and the same matan. That is agreed upon. Whereas Bukhari and Muslim report the hadith, it could be the matan is the same, but the isnad is different. This is reported by Anas, this is reported by Abu Hurairah, for example. But this hadith is agreed upon. And to pray my witr before I go to bed. And subhanallah, the minimum rak'ah of witr is 1 rak'ah. And yet, some of us, maybe even that 1 rak'ah, they don't pray the witr before going to sleep. That's why Imam Ahmad said, when he was asked, a man doesn't pray the witr, he said, ذاك رجل لا خير فيه. There's no good in him if he doesn't pray the witr. There's no good in him. 1 rak'ah he cannot pray. And the witr, it is highly recommended, sunnah, mu'akkada, but it's not fard. It's not obligatory, but it is highly recommended. The Prophet ﷺ, he would not miss it, whether he is traveling or he is resident. So let us maintain this, my dear brothers and sisters, fasting every month, 3 days. Also, fasting the day of Arafah. For those who are not on Hajj, those who are not in Mecca and Hajj, you fast the day of Arafah, and you know the sins of 2 years, the current year and the year to come. Subhanallah. 2 years, the sins are washed away because of fasting 1 day. Also, fasting the 10th of Muharram, Ashura. And by the way, Ashura was fard in the beginning. Okay, you know this? In the beginning, it was obligatory. Then it was abrogated and remained as Sunnah. And when the Prophet ﷺ arrived also in Medina, he found the Jews in Medina celebrating and fasting that day. So he commanded the Muslims to fast Ashura. And he said, if I live till next year, I will fast the 9th and the 10th to be different from them. Why? Because he wants the Muslim to be unique and to maintain his own identity. His own identity. You don't lose your identity. You're Muhammad, now you call yourself Mo. What Mo? That is Muhammad? You change your name? Be proud of your identity. So when I see you, I recognize that you are a Muslim. The Prophet ﷺ even combing the hair. In the beginning, he was combing his hair backward, like the people of the scripture. Then he decided to part it from the middle. So that is to have, telling the Muslims that your personality should be unique. Your identity should be outstanding. Don't imitate, because normally when you imitate someone, you take him as an example for you. And Islam wants you to take only Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as your example. And the sisters, they should take the mothers of the believers, their mothers, Khadija, Aisha, Hafsa, Sauda. These are your role models. You take them as an example and you follow their footsteps. The Prophet ﷺ, in one beautiful hadith, which he also, in the same vein, in the same context, he said, by Allah, you Muslims, you will follow the footsteps of those who preceded you. Span by span, this is the span, cubit by cubit. Even if they entered the lizard hole, you would follow them. The Sahaba were shocked when they heard that. They said, you mean the people of the scripture will follow them? He said, yes. Blind imitation. You should not lose your identity. Also, my dear brothers and sisters, so here, this is about the Siyam of Ashura, the 10th of Muharram. So the Prophet ﷺ said, if I live until next year, though it is ibadah, I will fast the 9th and the 10th as well. Also, we need to fast Monday, Thursday. That is also highly recommended. Nafil. The Prophet ﷺ in Tirmidhi, and this is Hasan Hadith, he said, الأعمال تعرض الأعمال على الله يوم الأحد يوم الاثنين ويوم الخميس وأحب أن يعرض عملي وأنا صائم. The Prophet ﷺ said that the a'mal, our deeds, the followers of the Prophet ﷺ, the Muslims' deeds, are presented to Allah every Monday and Thursday. And I like that my amal, my deed, presented to Allah while I am fasting. So let us, inshallah, build up our spirituality, build up our iman in Ramadan, have this energy so that after Ramadan we continue. So Ramadan is a training session, training period, 30 days for all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen our iman. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase our knowledge in the deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala overlook our faults and mistakes. And may Allah keep us remain steadfast on this beautiful deen until we meet Allah and He is pleased with all of us. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa jazakumullahu khair. May Allah reward you for your patience and attendance. Jazakumullahu khair.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Sheikh, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair for the reminders. Alhamdulillah. And it was beautiful listening to you. My name is Qari Irfan. I'm sure we've met before as well. Alhamdulillah. So just for all the viewers, whoever has got any questions, please send your questions on 07958183184. Tune in as at alfitra.com/live as well, inshallah. Sheikh, we've got some questions. And the first questions we've got is for those who go out in the darkness to pray Fajr in the masjid, the Prophet ﷺ said, give them glad tidings, as they will have full light on the day of judgment. What about the women who pray Fajr at home? What is the status on for them?
Okay, alhamdulillah. They were not deprived of the reward, because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, and we mentioned this yesterday, when the woman said, I like praying behind you, he said, you pray at home, praying at home is more rewardable than praying behind me. So the sisters, they should know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write the same reward for them, if not more, by just staying and praying at home and following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Because when you pray at home, you are abiding by the sunnah and you are following the Prophet's teaching. So don't worry. You'll get the reward, inshallah. And I'll tell the sister now something else. This reminded me. When he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا صَلَّتِ الْمَرْأَةُ خَمْسَهَا وَصَامَتْ شَهْرَهَا وَأَطَاعَتْ بَعْلَهَا قِيلَ لَهَا ادْخُلِي الْجَنَّةَ مِنْ أَيِّ أَبْوَابِهَا شِئْتِ. When a woman prays the 5 prayers, obeys her husband, and protects her private parts, it will be said to her, and it will be told to her on the day of resurrection, go, all the doors of Jannah are open for you. All the doors of the Jannah are open. Choose whichever door you want to go through. So this is the reward. This is not given to the men, where he can go from all the doors, but for the women who stay and obey Allah and become true servants of Allah. Is this clear?
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. I hope we've got the next question as well. The next question, mashallah, is basically we have a kids tent outside which has cartoon pictures on it of a fox. Will the angels still come to the house if you have pictures of loved ones in the home? And is it true, just time with another question, is it true angels don't come to the house? Please explain. If you can shed some light on that, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. The Prophet ﷺ, Jibreel alayhi salam came to visit him, and he didn't enter the house. He didn't enter the house of the Prophet ﷺ. And then he explained why he didn't enter. He said to the Prophet ﷺ, there was a statue in your house. So cut the head of the statue so it will look like a tree. And there was a dog in your house. Take the dog out. Then he told the Prophet ﷺ, we angels do not enter a house that has pictures or dogs. So the angels of mercy, Malaikat al-Rahmah, they don't enter a house that has a picture or dog. And the pictures here, some might say images. But this is not true. They call it the 3D pictures. No. The Prophet ﷺ, when he came from one of the military expeditions, Aisha, she bought a curtain and she put it on the door. Curtain. And the curtain has pictures of living things. The Prophet ﷺ got very upset and angry, and he did not enter the house. He stood out at the footstep. And he said, Aisha, what is this? She said, this is a curtain. He told her, Allah cursed those who made these pictures. So they cut the curtain and they made out of it cushions. So the scholars deduce that if the picture in the piece of cloth, people step over it, or it is not on the wall, then that can be tolerated for the time being. But when you go and do your shopping, buying clothes for your children, make sure there are no pictures on the garments or in the shirts, etc. Is this clear to the questioner?
Alhamdulillah, Sheikh. I hope that answers the questions. We've got another question as well. Alhamdulillah, and is, can we recite Salatul Zuhr loud in front of our kids as a means to teach them? At the same time, it ties in with another question that after Surah Al-Fatiha, is it only that we should read only one surah after Surah Al-Fatiha, or two surahs? Or are we allowed to read two surahs? And the one that's leading the prayer, if he has got a bad tajweed, he can't recite the Quran with the correct art of recitation, is it possible for them to lead that salah? And what's the status on this? Or even if he's got a lips where he can't read properly, is he able to read that salah? So it's a lot of questions tied in together.
Okay, but just keep reminding me to keep it.
Yes, of course, inshallah.
Okay, so the first one was about the. See, I already forgot it.
Okay, the first one, if we answer on the one, is if someone has not got the correct recitation of Quran, can't lead the salah, can he still lead the salah?
See, if he reads, if there is someone who can read better than him, the one who knows the tajweed and the Quran should lead the salah. But if no one, and he is the best among the lot, then he can lead the salah. Okay, providing that at least he reads the Fatiha correctly, first of all. Is this clear?
Yes, inshallah.
Second part.
I struggle reciting Quran and want to complete the reading of the whole Quran this month. What is the reward of completing the Quran in the holy month of Ramadan? And I feel sad that I'm missing out. Okay,
reading the Quran in Ramadan, it is the month of the Quran, and at least you read it, you try to complete it in the month of Ramadan. But I think there are part of the same question I didn't answer. Can you go back to it?
About for leading the salah, if someone has got a lips while you're leading, can he still lead the salah?
That is I answered, but also there is something before you mentioned.
Was it about? Let me just double check. There's a lot of questions as well. There was one about is it from the Sunnah to only recite one surah of the Al-Fatiha or more than one surah of the Al-Fatiha?
No, now I remember. Can he? The question I was asking: can he or she read the Dhuhr prayer loudly for the sake of teaching the children? So the children they hear the recitation. First of all, the silent prayers or salawat al-sirriya like Dhuhr, Asr, we read silently. But what is the meaning of reading silently? Means that you utter the articulate the letters. You have to articulate the letters, and you hear your recitation. You hear it yourself. Because some people, they read without articulating the letters, and they think they are reading. So their lips are not moving, and they think they are reading. No, they are not reading. So you articulate the letters, and you hear your recitation. And the Sahaba, in one of the silent prayers, they could hear the Prophet ﷺ reading. Okay. So there is no harm, but it is not loudly that everyone around you can hear you. So if you do it just to hear yourself, that is permissible.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. And
regarding also reading more than one surah after the Fatiha, yes, you can. You can read many surahs after the Fatiha. No problem, inshallah.
Okay, on to the next question, Sheikh, is can you keep a dog in an outhouse or backyard shed, a place which is used like an office or workshop?
Alhamdulillah, you see, if you have a dog, if it is a watchdog, that is permissible. Or if it is for husbandry, for in the farm to protect the sheep, that is permissible. Otherwise, every day, because some people, they keep the dogs inside for nothing. So your reward will be reduced every day, 1 qirat. So the dogs should be outside. If you are keeping a dog, keep it outside, not inside your house. Is this clear?
Alhamdulillah, Sheikh, Jazakallah khair for this brilliant answer. If we move on to our next question from our viewers, if you make a certain sunnah a habit and you continuously do it, but then later abandon it altogether, is this a sin?
No, it is not a sin, but it is a loss. Someone is doing good deeds and continuing doing this, and all of a sudden he left it. Try to go back to it, because you see, I'll give you an example of how we can liken the nafils or the sunan to the fard. The fard is the inner core. That is the fard. The sunan like the fence around this house. So the fence is protecting you, the evils, from entering. So if you are treating the sunan like the fard, you will never miss the fard. The moment you start treating the sunan lightly, the likelihood of losing and missing fard is high. So be strict with yourself. Take
MashaAllah.
sunan seriously, like the fence protecting you from losing the fard, what is obligatory. As the Sahaba said, and this is when about the hadith of the halal and haram. الحلال بين والحرام بين وبينهما أمور مشتبهات. The Prophet ﷺ said, halal is clear, haram is clear, and there are gray area in between. So imagine there are three circles. This is the circle of the halal. This is the circle of the haram. This is the circle of gray area, doubtful matters. Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab said, we would leave a great portion of halal. We know it is halal. In other words, he is telling us we will be at the other end of the halal circle. And a lot of halal between us and the gray area. So which means we will never fall into the gray area. Subhanallah. This is the taqwa. Nowadays, the Muslims, they are, many of them in the gray area, at the edge of the gray area, and they are about to delve into the haram. So you see now, so if you are treating your sunnah seriously, the chance is very less to lose the fard. I hope it is clear to all brothers and sisters.
Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Again, there's another question which pertains to the recitation of Quran and memorization. There's two questions which ties in together. Can you memorize surahs without tajweed and correct it later once they've learned the tajweed? Also, can you teach young children surah without the correct tajweed?
First of all, a question, if it is long, just we'll break it so we don't miss it. So what is the best thing? Is it to memorize the surah and then the tajweed, or the tajweed, then the memorization? No, you should memorize correctly from the beginning. From the beginning, maybe you don't know the rulings of the tajweed, that this is ikhfa, this is idgham. You don't know that. You don't know that. But the one who taught you, you are listening and imitating him. So you are reading with tajweed without knowing the rulings of the tajweed. That's why the Quran reached us through the oral transmission. So the Quran, you sit with someone, you read in front of him, and he corrects you. So you learn both together. You memorize and you learn the ahkam together. This is the right way.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. And our next question, should you read 4 sunnah before Salatul Asr?
Yes, it is sunnah. And the reward is, mashallah. And Madhab Imam Shafi'i, it is also sunan mu'akkadah. The 4 rak'ahs before the Asr, yes.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Also to all our viewers as well, any more questions that you've got for Sheikh, inshallah, please share your questions on, you can WhatsApp your question to 07958 183 inshallah. We've got Sheikh Salim Al-Amry with us, mashallah. It's such an honor, Sheikh, to have us with you. We will move on to the next question as well. Just as a reminder to all the viewers, we still need to hit our fundraising target of £500 a day, inshallah. So any amount you wish to donate, especially in the month of Ramadan, please do so. Hit on the button, inshallah, to donate. And inshallah, we will send you a link as well where you can click on it and donate as well. Sheikh, along with that, can you shed some light about, there's many people who wants to give a lot of, to make, mashallah, donations to many charities to help the ummah. However, they have that fear in their mind where they're thinking, I've got this amount in my bank account. If I give that much, my wealth's going to be decreasing. Or they look at their circumstances and not and being a bit fearful, so that if I give in the path of Allah, what is the reward? What is the reward of giving in the path of Allah? And there's a lot of charities, mashallah, in Ramadan, all year round, mashallah, to help the ummah, to make the ummah stronger, inshallah. So what is the light, and can you shed some light on this?
Subhanallah, my dear brothers and sisters. The Prophet ﷺ, he used to be very generous, but in Ramadan, his generosity will hit the ceiling. Okay? It's just like the blowing wind, which means he is spending. And he said, ما نقص مال من صدقة قط. If we believe in the Prophet ﷺ, he said, ما نقص مال من صدقة قط. No wealth will be diminished because of spending, because of charity. It will increase. Every day, my brothers and sisters, when we leave our homes, there are angels praying for you. One of them saying, Allahumma a'ti mumfiqan khalafa. And the other says, Allahumma a'ti mumsikan talafa. One angel says, oh Allah, compensate the one who spends fi sabilillah. The other says, oh Allah, destroy the wealth of the one who withholds. Let him lose his wealth because he withholds. Subhanallah. So spend, my dear brothers and sisters, fi sabilillahi azza wa jal. Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Sayyidina Umar tried to compete with him one day. He got some money, so he divided it into one half. And he brought to the Prophet ﷺ half of it. Then Abu Bakr came and he gave also amount of money to the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ asked Abu Bakr, what did you leave for your children? He said, Allah, nothing. And Umar, he said half of it. And then Sayyidina Umar said, I cannot compete with Abu Bakr. And the more you give, and you have yaqeen and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will substitute. And make it a habit, my dear brothers and sisters, to spend according to your ability, according to your capacity. If it is £1 on a daily basis, £1 or $1, Allah will multiply it until it becomes in the day of resurrection like the size of the Mount of Uhud. On the day of resurrection, my dear brothers and sisters, when the sun will be above our heads and people are drowning in their sweat, no shade except the shade of the throne, mighty throne. May Allah make us among those who will seek thee, will be sheltered in the shade of the mighty throne. Ameen. Or the shade of your sadaqah, the shade of your charity. So the more you give, the bigger the shade you will have on the day of resurrection, when the sun will be above the head and people are drowning in their sweat. So don't let the shaitan to stop you by whispering and listening to the satanic whispers, and you withhold and stop spending fi sabilillah. Spend, my dear brothers and sisters, and Allah will reward you immensely. Barakallah fikum.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. To all the viewers as well, Jazakallah khair, from all the viewers. If you want to have any questions, inshallah, for the Sheikh, please message us, inshallah, and the Sheikh will be able to answer your questions on 07958183184. Sheikh, we've got another question, a very important question, which is the brothers and the 1-8 committee in the UK have revived the Sunnah, and we love them for it. Alhamdulillah. our family do not want us to attend because they believe women should not attend the Eid. Hanafi, please advise, what can we do?
My advice for the parents and the families, inshallah, because I'm sure they love the Prophet ﷺ and they love the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, they will come along, inshallah, with their children. Ameen.
Inshallah. Inshallah. So we do invite everybody, inshallah, for one Eid as well. Come out of your house and inshallah celebrate Eid as much as you can. Inshallah, this is one day to rejoice. Sheikh, the next question from our viewer is: can we give charity on behalf of someone else as a gift to them? For example, like a sheep or a sacrifice of an animal.
Yes, the answer yes. Especially the parents, and if they passed away and you are making sadaqah and seeking by that the reward from Allah to reach them, yes, that is permissible and allowed.
Okay, alhamdulillah. The next question as well that I've got is from another viewer is: what is the difference? Two technical words. What is the difference between tawakkul ala Allah and tawassul?
Okay. Tawakkul is putting your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the meaning of tawakkul. Tawassul, seeking closeness, how to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the tawakkul is to rely and depend totally with full confidence in Allah and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is tawakkul. Okay? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was in the cave of Hira, Abu Bakr and the mushriks, they reached the door of the cave. Sayyidina Abu Bakr was telling the Prophet, if one of them looked down, he would see us. He said, don't worry, Allah is with us. This is the tawakkul. إذ يقول لصاحبه ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار لا تحزن إن الله معنا. So he's telling Abu Bakr, soothing Abu Bakr, don't worry, they will not see us because we are with Allah. Also, when Suraqa ibn Malik, he followed them, he chased them by tracing the footprints, and Abu Bakr looked back. He said, there is a knight, horseman behind us. He said, Abu Bakr, don't worry. Don't worry, Abu Bakr. Allah is with us, Abu Bakr. Allah is with us. And what happened to Suraqa ibn Malik? He was riding his horse on rocky land, and all the four of the legs of the horse sank into the ground. And he was thrown up from the horse, from the saddle. He came up. And this happened, and he cried to the Prophet ﷺ, "Oh Muhammad, pray for me. I will not hurt you. I will go back." And he repeated it 3 times, and the Prophet ﷺ then turned and told Suraqa, I know what you are after. You are out after the prize, the 100 camels. Go back, and you will get a better prize, the bracelets of Khosrow, the king of Persia. Imagine, the Prophet ﷺ is wanted, and he is promising the bangles, the bracelets of the king of Persia, the emperor. And it happened. And Suraqa ibn Malik became a Muslim. And the Muslims conquered Persia. And the bracelets of Kisra brought to Medina during the reign of Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab. And he gave them to Suraqa ibn Malik. This is the tawakkul. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, when they were trapped between the sea and the troops of Fir'aun, فَلَمَّا تَرَاءَ الْجَمْعَانِ, when the two parties are seeing each other, the troops of Fir'aun and Bani Israel, the Israelites. So the Israelites say to Musa, قال أصحاب موسى إنا لمدركون. So the Israelites told Musa alayhi salam, we are going to be captured, we are going to be seized. He said, no. كلا إن معي ربي سيهدين. No way that they will catch us. Though the water in front of them, troops behind. But he has trust in Allah. And Allah told him, strike the sea with your staff, and the sea split. That is the tawakkul. The tawassul is different. Tawassul, how close can I come to Allah? Drawing near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are the things that will draw me closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You can get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing the righteous deeds, by calling upon Allah by His names and attributes, by calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by mentioning righteous deeds that you did purely for Him, like the story of the three. And there is a fourth one which is problematic, and that is to say, oh Allah, I ask you by the status of Prophet Muhammad. Allahumma inni as'aluka bijahin nabi. This is problematic. This is not approved of. It's not the practice of the Sahaba or the Sunnah of the Prophet, or the Prophet ﷺ told us to do so. You cannot get closer to Allah by the deeds of somebody else. So, mention a deed that you have done purely for Allah. You can get closer to Allah by that, by the names, invoking Allah by His names. And you can say, oh Allah, get me close to you by my love for Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Your love. Because your love is a virtuous deed and an action for which you will be rewarded. Is this clear to the questioner?
Jazakallah khairan. Hopefully that should be clear. We've got the next question as well, inshallah. If you know someone's income is haram and they gift it to you or your child, are you allowed to take it?
If you know it is haram, no.
Okay. And how do you respond? What is the best way to respond, just in case you don't want to hurt his feelings or her feelings?
Okay, try to apologize by any means. Try to be smart.
Inshallah. We move on to the next question of our viewer. If someone you know is not good for your peace or mental health, but families are forcing you to be in this person's company, is it okay for you to say no? Or will you sin because you're not making efforts?
That being in the company of this person is going to harm you?
So if you know someone you know is not good for your peace or mental health, so maybe that person can be as a harm, but families are forcing you to be in this person's company, is it okay for you to say no? Or will you be sinful because you're refusing the family for not making efforts of being in that company of that person?
The question actually is a bit vague to me, but anyway, if being in the company of this person is going to harm you either physically or spiritually, you need to explain to your family. And I don't know how the family forced their child to do something that will harm the child. I can't understand it. And the families, they should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you need to explain to them what harm this person is going to cause to you.
Also, that ties in with the family as well. Is it true if you look at your parents, it is equal to the amount of reward of Hajj?
I don't know, something like that.
I think the question pertains to about if you look at your mother's face with a smile, do you still get the reward of Hajj?
No, there's nothing like that. But if you sit at her feet, you're in the Jannah.
Subhanallah.
As the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Jannah tamma qadam al-um. So this is another example, okay, about the hadith weak and hadith sahih. This is authentic narration. That Jannah is at the feet of the mothers. This is authentic. The other narration, which is weak, the same meaning. Jannah is under the feet of the mothers. This is a weak narration. Is it clear?
Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khair. Inshallah, to all the viewers as well, we are 4 days behind schedule, guys, and we are asking for donations. We are behind schedule. We've got a lot of work to do for one Eid as well. Inshallah, so let's see. It's the time now to donate. Let's see who is the first one who will be able to donate tonight, inshallah. Sheikh has already mentioned before about the reward of spending in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now, inshallah, for any of your donations, please text it to, inshallah, 07958183 to make a donation, inshallah, and we shall send you the link. So let's see today, Sheikh, as we're talking, who'll be the first one to donate and spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. Inshallah, we've got the next question is giving zakat allowed for dawah, and what type of dawah is zakat applicable to? Is giving zakat allowed for dawah projects?
Well, this is actually a controversial issue because the spending of the zakah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned those who are eligible for the zakah. And one of the categories is fi sabilillah. Fi sabilillah here means the jihad. Some of the contemporary scholars, they put the da'wah under that. So you hear the fatwa that yes, zakah can be given for the da'wah of calling the people to Islam. So there is fatwa by many scholars saying it is permissible to give the zakah for the da'wah, the true da'wah, where people are really calling the people who are not yet Muslims to the true deen, to the light.
Okay, mashallah. Mashallah, Sheikh. And the other question that we've got is, if you commit a major sin after returning from Hajj or Umrah, will this affect your Hajj or the Umrah that you've done in the past?
Sins always affect. The sins always affect. But do I have to make Hajj again? It is fard for me to make the Hajj again? No. But sins should not be treated lightly, because the sins, if you treat them lightly, they build up and they grow. Minor sins, they become major sins. And then you will get used of committing major sins. And the shaitan will keep pulling your leg until billah, take you out of Islam, because of treating your sins lightly. So that's why if you commit sins after Umrah or Hajj, repent immediately. Repent and come back to Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who turn immediately to Him. And may Allah forgive our sins. Ameen.
Ameen. Sheikh, I think we'll take a last question as well, before, as the time of iftar is also approaching. is Assalamu alaikum. The next viewer says, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I hope you are well. Who are the Siddiqun and how can we achieve this status? Jazakallah khair. We love you for the sake of Allah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah love you as you love me for his sake. Siddiqun, like Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the like of that. So that is the category of the example. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us out of his mercy to be in the rank of the Siddiqeen and the martyrs on the day of resurrection. Ameen.
Ameen, alhamdulillah. The next question is the short one. If you make a promise or oath to Allah and you break it, what do you have to do to make it up?
You mean you made an oath and then you broke it? This is what we call kafarat yameen. Oaths are three types. The yameen or oath are three types. One type we call it yameen munghamisa, which means an oath there is no expiation for it except to be dipped to the hellfire. So there is no expiation for the yameen munghamisa. That's number one. The second type of yameen munaqida. You swore by Allah, you took the oath in the name of Allah, and then you broke that. For example, you told your wife, by Allah, you cannot go visiting so and so. And you meant it. For example, you told your wife, by Allah, I swear by Allah, you cannot visit your uncle. And you know it is haram to stop your wife from visiting her uncle, maternal or paternal. Then when you cooled down, you didn't know what to do. Here the Prophet ﷺ is telling us, no need to fulfill the oath, break it and expiate by fasting 3 days or feeding 10 poor men or setting, of course, a slave free. That was in the past.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh.
And the third type of oath is yameen laghu, vain oath. Some people they say, wallahi, 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 always. Wallahi, tishrab shay. By Allah, drink tea. Have this. They didn't mean to swear. They didn't mean to take an oath. So this is laghu, but it's not good. You have to get rid of it.
MashaAllah. Sheikh, as we're approaching the time of iftar in the UK as well, we would like to request you, the viewers would like to request you, if you can make some dua as well at the time of iftar is approaching for us as well, inshallah, on live, on here as well, inshallah, so we can all be taking some blessings of the dua as well, inshallah.
يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك ولعظيم سلطانك. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك عدد خلقك ورضا نفسك وزنة عرشك ومداد كلماتك. اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد يا رب العالمين. اللهم تقبل صيامنا وقيامنا. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا. اللهم ردنا إلى دينك ردا جميلا. اللهم ردنا إلى دينك ردا جميلا. اللهم ردنا إلى دينك ردا جميلا. اللهم اكشف عنا البلاء يا رب العالمين. اللهم اكشف عنا البلاء يا رب العالمين. اللهم اكشف البلاء عنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم احفظنا واحفظ أهالينا واحفظ ذرياتنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم احفظ المسلمين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها إنك ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Inshallah, we shall see you again tomorrow, inshallah. Guys, for all the viewers, please tune in at alfitra.com/live and Facebook Jalal Ibn Sa'id. And inshallah, prepare your questions, inshallah, for the Sheikh for tomorrow, inshallah. Sheikh, may Allah bless you. May Allah give you the highest status in Al Jannah for those, and in the month of Ramadan, may you enter the door of Al Rayyan, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. It has been a blessing.
And you too. And you,
I
inshallah.
mean, remember Brother Irfan in your du'as, and of course, Shaykh Jalal, who is our host, mashallah. Make dua for him and his family, and make dua for all our viewers as well. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا الطارش يا المعنى خط بكتابك الترحيب لو سراب ليلك وجنة بالدجا في الليل تسري.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah, brothers and sisters, respected elders, guests, friends, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to my live broadcast in isolation. We do this daily. Earlier this evening, we were blessed by the honorable and beloved Sheikh Salim al-Amry. What a spectacular, mashallah, reminder. What a heart-moving reminder that was. Every day, mashallah, tabarakallah. He gives us such incredible reminders, Allahu Akbar. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless him and his family. It's such an honor to have him with us on a daily basis. Today, well, today's going to be a little bit different. We're have a little bit more of a relaxed atmosphere reminder. My brothers and sisters, I'm trying to come on live so I can see your messages. I want to be able to talk to you. So first and foremost, please send me your WhatsApp messages on 07958183184. That way I can at least see your messages, your questions. Tonight we're going to have a discussion about spiritual strength. I'm feeling kind of on a bit of a high. Allahu Akbar. I think it's the Ramadan high. It's the first time in many years that I actually have this really, really nice high. It's like I'm a high on life. I'm a high on happiness. I'm high on joy. And Allahu Akbar, what a huge difference it makes to my team, to everyone on my team, the brothers and sisters, to not have to focus 3 months in advance for a big, massive park festival. You know, the event, planning an event, people don't realize you either spend 150 grand on something that's spectacular and huge, or you spend 15, 20 grand and you have the same size event with Muslims, etc., but it's run on the backs of volunteers. So when you have to keep the budget low and do something that spectacular, subhanAllah, you know what? It really does take a lot out of you. And this Ramadan is the first Ramadan in nearly 15 years where it's just about ibadah. It's about reminders. It's about the knowledge. It's about getting close to Allah Azza wa Jalla. As Sheikh Salim beautifully explained, tawakkul and tawassul. And this Ramadan is all about tawassul, subhanallah. This Ramadan is all about tawassul. It's about getting closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. And I have so much to share with you tonight. And a beautiful, beautiful brother, Harun Bashir from, you guys know, Sham. Abdurrahman, I want to ask you, Abdurrahman, if you can open up a YouTube link and play something from Sham for us live here and now. Just kind of drag it into the screen and let everyone hear the beautiful voice of Sham. I just want everyone to see who we're going to talk to and who we're talking about, inshallah. Is that possible, Abdurrahman? Fantastic. Okay, cool. Fantastic. I forgot you can speak back to me. That's awesome. So anyways, my brothers and sisters, tonight we're going to have a few minutes with Sham and Harun Bashir from Sham. I love this brother. I love all of them. They just remind me of the late 80s, early 90s Dawah movement. It was awesome. Everyone wore white. Everyone wore a white kufi. And that's one thing I always love, the signature of my Sham brothers, because Asham, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam spoke about. Asham is something that Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam spoke about in many hadith, and the ulama, the Salaf al-Salih would praise it. And there's prophecy about Asham. Isa ibn Maryam will return in Asham. How many prophets, how many Anbiya of Allah Azza wa Jal came to Asham and were buried in Asham? Sham is something so special to the Ummah. Syria, Palestine, that whole region, Jordan, that area is a blessed area. It's a blessed land. And the nasheed, the nat, sorry, what's that? You ready for me? Let's go. Let's hear something from Sham. I just want to get a little fresher before they get here, before Brother Harun tunes in, inshallah. Let's see. Let's remember together what Sham is like. So you guys know who I'm talking about. Somebody's like, who's he talking about? You must know. But if you don't know, here you go. Don't play some Bollywood band. Huh? Yeah, that's not Prince or Fresh, whatever. Yeah, go on, play it.
Mercy like the rain is falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down?
You want to sing along?
Falling down, falling down. Allah. Mercy like the angels in the rain. Mercy like the sun, the moon, the stars. Mercy like the angels in the rain. Mercy like the sun, the moon, the stars. Blossoming flowers, bearing fruits, showing us the greatness of Allah. Blossoming flowers, bearing fruits, showing us the greatness of Allah. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down, falling down. Mercy like the faith that shines within us. Mercy like the prayers that Allah answers. Mercy like the faith that shines within us. Mercy like the prayers that Allah answers. How it gives purpose to our lives, helping us strive for paradise. How it gives purpose to our lives, helping us strive for paradise, paradise. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down, falling down. Mercy like the smile for one another. Mercy like the kindness for each other. Mercy like the smile for one another. Mercy like the kindness for each other. Oh, how it takes sadness from our hearts, spreading God's love throughout the world. Oh, how it takes sadness from our hearts, spreading God's love throughout the world, spreading love. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down, falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down. Allah,
Okay, mashallah, that was fantastic. That was beautiful, Sheikh, by my brothers at Sham. Allahu Akbar. I love these guys' voices, but we're going to talk about spiritual strength amongst other things. Brother Harun's going to join me shortly, so I'll just give you a little brief. I want to invite some of my Facebook brothers and sisters to tune in as well, but I just don't know how to do it. Oh, obviously, you got to share the YouTube link. Send me. Let me just drop that in there. And everyone who's watching, or if you're not on Facebook, please tune in on YouTube. Really, that's where I want everyone to watch anyway. YouTube's where I want everyone to watch us, because the more support the dawah gets as well, the better, inshallah. So, okay, I'm just dropping this now. Tune in now, live. But it's Sheikh Salim's picture, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, okay? Just so you guys know, the poster that's coming up is, sorry? It did, I just did live. Oh, that's because it's the live link. So when I did live link, that's what came up. But it's okay, it's done. It used to be when you shared the live link from YouTube, it would actually play live on Facebook. I don't know if it does that anymore. I don't think it does. It's really weird. It used to do that, where you could, if you shared a video link, it would show it live, but it doesn't. Oh, we are live on Facebook. Of course we are, but I'm talking about my own personal page. You know, my family, friends, other people are watching. Okay, I've done it now. I've shared it I've started a watch party. That's what it's called. Pretty cool. Anyways, brothers and sisters, I can't see all the platforms. I cannot read all the messages. So here's what you can do. Drop me a message. I've got the WhatsApp open in front of me right now. It's the only way you can reach me. If anyone else sees somebody messaging and they still don't get it and they just message or they weren't tuned in then when I said that, please copy and paste their message into WhatsApp. If you want to join the group and you're not in the group, let me know and I will give you the link so you can join the group right now, inshallah, as well. Okay? I'm just copying the link to the group and I'll give it to you guys, whoever wants to come in. Bismillah, copy link. Boom, that's done. And there we are. We already have a person who wants to join the group. There you go. Bismillah. May Allah bless you. So everyone, please join the WhatsApp group so I can talk to you guys directly. There you go. Yes, that's actually from me. I just pasted that directly to you. So it's not just someone else. It's actually me. I'm sitting here on my laptop while we're live. Today, I want to talk about spiritual strength. But guys, here's something different I want to do, okay? I want you to engage with me. I wish if I was live on Instagram, it's so much fun because on there you can call me live. I guess you can do that on Facebook as well. So if anybody wants to call me live on Facebook, I'll find a way to take your call. Abdurrahman, how can they call? Can they call on the Zoom link? Could we possibly share the Zoom link and let people join the Zoom link? Anyone wants to call live? Sorry? It will reduce bandwidth. Okay. Yeah, but then no one else can see it. It'll be only me seeing it. If someone calls me on my Facebook, only I will see it. I know they need to call Abdurrahman. If he gets the call, he could share it on the screen. I don't know how you can do it. Okay, never mind. You know what? People can hear you. Yeah, correct. They can hear. So you could call me on Facebook if you like, or Zoom. You know what, Abdurrahman, one call at a time is not going to kill us. So I think we can share the Zoom link. If anybody wants to call in Zoom, they can. They can come on there as a meeting conference, and we can just add them only when they join. Okay? You just accept one at a time. So if anyone wants to call in live, message on the WhatsApp group and in the WhatsApp group and say you want to call in live, and we'll give you the Zoom link. Abdurrahman, just drop the Zoom link in the WhatsApp group now, please. And then I'll go ahead and open it on my laptop as well. All right, so it's been an incredible 8 days, mashallah. Ramadan. It's truly feeling like an old friend. He's here for a little while, and he's brought all these blessings, forgiveness, mercy, love, compassion, all from Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's like a gift, you know, when your parents are far away. I send them a big box of dates or something, and they get so happy their son sent them a present. I don't know what that feels like yet, but it must feel amazing for them to get that treatment. So I think, subhanAllah, you know what, that's how we should feel, but we need to think about it that way, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from far away but yet so close to us, has sent us Ramadan, a month of mercy, taken the shayateen away, tied the shayateen in their cells, and opened up the gates of Jannah and closed the gate of Jahannam, and just made it so much easier for us to be Muslim, to be practicing Muslims. It's a beautiful feeling, mashallah, tabarakallah. So having said that, you gotta let me in a month. Thanks, man. And so today's gonna be a chill pill type of evening, you know, maybe a cup of tea, who knows, you know. It might just show up on this little table next to me over here. It might not. Already, we got someone in the weight room. Bring it on. Let's see who's here. We're waiting on Brother Harun. It might be him, actually. Let's see who it is. Should I keep my speakers off right now? Yeah, I'll keep my speaker off, isn't it? Okay, I'll keep it off just so I can see. Yeah, I'll just keep it mute. I'll join, but I'll keep it mute. Okay, let her in. Sultana, are you here? Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, I know I'm here twice. Double your pleasure. Just use one of them, though, okay? There, I turned it off. There you go. Okay, so let's take Sultana's call. Let Sultana in, and then we'll let Harun in as well. Because once we get started with Brother Harun, we're going to be here a while. So let's take this call. Is it coming through or not, man? Okay, khair, inshallah. Let Brother Harun in as well then. Let's just get started. Anyone else comes, just let them in. It's fine. Yep, Brother Harun, you are here. Welcome. So, brothers and sisters, Abdurrahman, before he joins us while he's fixing his video camera, just play that tune again or play a different tune. Put something on quickly. Let's give him a little welcome. It's like a TV show, you know? Just for 5 seconds. Put something on, man. Play something.
Assalamu alaikum.
Ah, he's already here. There he is. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Harun. Such a long time.
You had me in your waiting room, so I was kind of looking around your waiting room and things.
Yeah, were you checking out the paintings on the wall? Were you enjoying the scenery?
How are you, mashallah? Nur ala nur.
Allah bless you. Allah bless you, Sheikh. Now, you know what? We left you that cucumber water out there spiritually.
Mashallah.
We had a bit of cucumber water there. Habibi, I've stolen your kufi. I hope you don't mind.
That's okay. That's okay, Sheikh.
I was talking about this earlier. I was telling the brothers. By the way, alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak. May Allah bless you, Brother Harun. It's been a long time. Let's me and you get our personal salutations out the way first, man. I miss you. It's been a long time. What you been up to?
Good. Just busy. We're not as young as we used to be, so our children are taller than us. I'm talking about my group now. So responsibilities have kind of doubled, tripled, quadrupled.
Oh,
We're just focusing a lot on family, and unfortunately, Brother Yasin, his parents are quite elderly as well, so he's kind of full-time taking care of them. So, alhamdulillah, we've got our hands full, to say the least.
Well, you know what I was thinking, that subhanallah, you know what, we get busy and life kind of takes over, and in some ways it's a good thing, but in some ways it is a challenge. But you know what, the brothers are busy with good things, you know what I mean? The brothers are busy with parents and stuff like that, and children growing up as well. And I just think that subhanallah, you know what, we could have been busy with something else. It's something, as practicing believers, practicing over a long period of time, you kind of so busy with being disappointed with yourself. You're so busy being disappointed in your achievements. You can do so much more that you forget. Allah loves you. You could have been something very different, on a very different path, and you were headed that way. It was in front of you. But me and you, we chose this path by Allah's will. He brought us this way. So to be serving our children, our parents, our wife, our household, Allahu Akbar, you know? It's a thing. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Turn your phone sideways. Let's see that looks a little bit, it gives us a better picture of you.
Like that?
Boom. Yes, much better. MashaAllah. Tabarakallah. There you go. That's beautiful, Brother Harun. So tell me about yourself. A lot of people, I don't know if everyone knows Sham, I'm sure they do, but I just feel like there's still some people who don't know. And so before we start talking, Abdurrahman, if you're ready, I want to play just a short 15-second, 20-second clip. I want everyone to just be refreshed of who we have in our on our panel here to talk today. Go on, Abdurrahman, play something. Bismillah. Abdurrahman.
फलक के नज़ारों ज़मीं की बहारों फलक के नज़ारों ज़मीं की बहारों सबीरे मनाओ हजूर आगे हजूर आगे हजूर आगे हजूर आगे हजूर आगे उठो गम के मारो चलो बेसहारो उठो गम के मारो चलो बेसहारो खबर ये सुनाओ
That was really hard for me to tell him to stop it. You know that? I could listen to that for ages. That was tough. I just want to keep watching. I'm watching the little clip here as well, and I'm watching them play this. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. You know, your brothers are so special, mashallah. You really are. I have never been into nasheeds like properly. Never. I praise the guys who do it. I support them, the different nasheed groups, but I actually love you guys. I love what you do, mashallah, tabarakallah. So today, guys, now you know this is Harun Bashir. He is, mashallah. I love this brother so dearly. There's so much to talk about. So let's just start with you, man. Let's start day one for a few minutes. Let's talk about the beginning. What turned your angle? What age was it? What happened? When did Islam become an issue? When was Islam important? When was it the not? When was it the not about Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Tell us. Start from the very beginning.
Shall I leave any details out, or
no?
Well, in all honesty, we've had in my family, my brothers, they're Quran Hafiz. So my grandfather was very adamant that the youngsters in our family they kind of really focus on learning the Quran and trying to practice the Deen. I unfortunately couldn't become a Quran Hafiz because I never had the attention span for it. I've got ADHD, so it's difficult for me to kind of just keep focused on certain things unless it's very practical. Where I was fortunate actually was I went over to Syria to study in Qira'ah. So that for me was more practical to learn the art of recitation of Quran. But before I actually went over to Syria, like you say, the path, I had two choices and I was already going down, unfortunately, the wrong path. So it became such a problem where my brother spoke to my father and said, we need to send this guy, we need to ship him abroad, get him out of the company that he's in and the lifestyle that he's becoming accustomed to. And literally that's what they did. They sent me off to Syria. I wasn't too.
You know how wrong that sounds in this atmosphere? You know what that does? They send me off to Syria.
Yeah, but this was in this was in the golden era. The golden era, before anybody knew of Syria. And I'll tell you what, that till this day now.
You know what? A lot of people, including myself, my wife, this was a dream, for a long time. It was a dream to go to Syria, see Damascus, see Aleppo, see the sites, see the mosques. It was a dream. It was the Sahaba stories we used to read. So you're blessed, but people like us, we just cry because not only can we not go right now or ever, anytime soon, but what's left?
Yeah, true. What's left? It is really extremely upsetting, actually. I mean, that was hands down. I say this many times. That was the best era of my life. I will never, ever, ever forget Syria and the time that we had there. What we learned, what we came back with, the experiences, the people, the poorest of the poor people. They used to, because we were Talib al-Ilm, after Jum'ah, they used to grab us and they used to, by the hand, after Jum'ah, they used to say, you're a student of the Deen. We want to take you home to eat. Come and eat with us. And you can see these people were very, very miskeen. But mashallah, whatever they had, they shared with you. And obviously, we were really miskeen because we were students. Even though we came from the UK, those days were very hard. But subhanAllah, they shared their food, they shared their homes, they shared their plates with us. That will live with us forever, that hospitality. And generally, people of Syria, wherever you go in the world, you see them. There's many, mashallah, Syrians here now in the UK. Whenever I see them.
Well, there's many more now than there were ever before. There's far more Syrians in the West because of what's happening. There's so many Syrians out here now everywhere, subhanAllah. And you know what? In a much humbler position than they were before. Obviously, the Syrian brothers and sisters around the world, from when I was a kid in America, for example, people see Syrians in a very low light now because they're like refugees type of status, but really they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're engineers, they're physicists, they're geniuses, and I've always known Syrians to be so intelligent and so advanced in their understanding and their culture and their behavior and their educational attachments. And I have to say, for many people out there who are Syrian, actually, and those who are not Syrian, people who are other cultures, they wouldn't really understand what Syrians and me, for example, I relate to them because Afghans, Afghanis, Afghanistan have this incredible history, have an incredible background, and then 30, 35, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, it was devastated. It's turned into something horrendous. And even in the early days of the Soviet invasion, it was considered, you know, a very honorable country. It was still seen as the Mujahideen, the freedom fighters against communism. And then shortly after that, it just turned into something very ugly. And all of a sudden, they're all terrorists, or they're refugees, or they're asylum seekers. It's just, I don't know. I'm out of words for this. I'm offended by. There's no way this could be accidental. It's almost like it's by design that these are great people, Syrian people, Afghanistan people. These were incredible people that were just brought. I don't know what to say to that, or without saying harsh words.
Yeah, I suppose the best way is for actually people to, you got to know history. And I'm not talking about history, what's shown to you in your textbooks here. You know, you've got to really research, and you've got to learn.
Islam, absolutely.
Where you come from, you've got to know where you're going. And it's very important actually to study how, I mean, especially, you know, if you look at our history of, say, the Ottoman Empire as well, and if you see how that came about, and then, you know, I think a lot of people have seen recently the Turkish series that's been coming out, you know, Ertugrul. You know, I've been a big fan of that also. So
what do you think, man?
I know that's a bit dramatized.
I've been told that I'm a cross between Arturo and Turgut.
MashaAllah. I'm sure your wife has been saying that to you.
Oh, sorry. Was it Noyan? Yeah, actually, I was told I'm a cross between Arturo and Noyan. That's the one. Oh, that's messed up. But yeah.
But, you know, we got a very rich history, actually. Our people, we have a very rich history. And I think our youth need to learn about our rich history. That's very important. And I think we seem to be losing a lot of it. So I think, you know, in a way, like these series, I know they're a bit dramatized, but they have some history in there. But I think our children, inshallah, you know, I hope they can kind of get equipped and to learn about our history. Is very rich. It's difficult learning through textbooks, but I think what's happening nowadays, inshallah.
I just want to make one point here, okay? If you don't mind, Harun. And that is the Russian, Alexander, the writer. He wrote, you want to destroy a people, sever their roots. Make them forget who they are.
Yeah.
The Tarikh al-Islam, the history of people, is so key. It is so important. Me being Afghani, for example, and my roots going back to Afghanistan and so on and so forth, and then being brought up in Texas, having a Texan hat. I've got my Stetson around the corner of my Mustang outside. I'm just making a point. You have to know where you're from and who your forefathers were. You got to look back, and it makes such a massive difference. I've got a quick announcement to everybody. We're talking with Brother Harun Bashir. I've got a lot of people just tuned in, I noticed. Harun Bashir is from Sham. Those of you who don't know, we'll play a few clips later on. But right now we're talking about his journey, his time in Syria, where he studied, how his parents packed him up and sent him off to Syria. We're going to keep saying that a few times tonight. I hope you don't get in trouble. But yeah, he was shipped off to Syria, and he was out there for a long time, best time in his life. So but a quick reminder, please share the link with people you know, youtube.com/Al-Fitra. And get your friends to tune in. We're going to talk about spiritual strength. We're going to talk about a lot of things on history, our roots. This is important. It's why we're starting with Brother Harun today. And also, don't forget, we have our daily fundraiser of £500. I'm waiting for the first donation pledge to come in. And you use the number on the screen, okay? It's scrolling down. It'll come out. 07958183184. If you have questions for Brother Harun or myself, you can send them in that text group as well on that phone in WhatsApp. Or if you want to come into the Zoom room, the link is there for you. We can send that to you on WhatsApp as well. And you can call in on Zoom, and you can talk to us directly if anyone would like to do that, inshallah. All right, Brother Harun, coming right back to what you said. So you were shipped off. It was the best time of your life. Bismillah.
Yeah, we had the best time. I mean, I was with a big group, about 15 guys. So obviously we just played up blind for the first few months, trying to get adjusted to religious life as well as Middle Eastern life. But mashallah, when that change came, and I think that was the first time I've experienced the deen in my life. I was taught here, raised in the masajid with sticks. Unfortunately, I have said it out loud.
With what?
With sticks.
Oh,
Yeah, with sticks and slippers.
I posted up a video recently of some kid being beaten by a stick, and yeah, we kind of took it to that guy. That was warning to imams, not on. It's not on.
Yeah, I mean, the things I saw in Syria, the people, like, for example, literally, we weren't even allowed to stand up to read the Quran, standing up, read the Quran in our hands. And in Syria, we used to see the people walking up and down, back and forth, the masjid, they had the Quran in their hand. So many different things, and they were so relaxed with their deen. And whereas I was like, can you do that? Is that permissible? Is that allowed? And then as I started to learn about the deen, I saw the beauty of the deen. Such beauty of the deen that I saw. And I think that's really what's kind of remained with me, with the guys in Syria. That's what's kind of shaped us. Syria. I'm going to be saying a lot of Syria today.
We're both
Facebook is going to get flagged.
We're both going to get visited. You know that.
But
I just noticed our numbers increased viewership. I noticed you had a cup there. What are you drinking, by the way?
Tea. I'm a big fan of Earl Grey tea. So
Earl Grey. All right. With milk and sugar?
No sugar, just milk. And it's almond milk. So I don't drink dairy, so it's almond milk. So.
All right, cool. I wanted to hear you say that. Well, I'm glad one of us have a cup. Anyways, carry on.
So basically, I think the journey continued on. Obviously, as we were studying along in Syria, we learned a lot. A lot of time there, and then came the gatherings. I think you must have heard that there's so many gatherings there every day, after every salah, in every masjid, and every corner, every street. There is a gathering taking place, and that's where we kind of just was knocked out by all of this. And we came back. As we studied there, we came back into the UK, and we noticed that there was nothing of the sort here. Nothing of the sort, at all.
What year are we talking about here?
Well, I celebrated my 16th birthday in Syria.
MashaAllah.
And that was, I think that was around about 95, 96. Yeah, 95, 96.
You're younger than me? How can that be?
Yeah.
MashaAllah. 95.
Uncle Jalal from now on, yeah?
Don't do that. We're going to cut. MashaAllah. Okay, carry on. So you're talking about mid-90s. This is when the dawah, or what you call the gatherings, right? The gatherings. It doesn't, subhanAllah, such a beautiful phrase, the gatherings, the halaqah, the halaqat, this is something so amazing. And in the 90s, I think this is when it was first growing, and the gatherings were mainly older guys, and it was in the mosques, the small masajid, and it was in one of the rooms of the mosques. And then eventually, I think something happened in mid 90s. People like yourself, I'm gonna say, okay, and a lot of brothers I studied with, we traveled around that time, early 90s, mid 90s. Something happened. There was a movement where parents felt free to send their kids away. It was interesting. Yeah. And I traveled. My friends traveled. Yasser went to Medina. Hood went to Medina. Salim went to Egypt. Weiss went to Syria. In fact, a couple of the brothers I was with went to Mauritania. A couple of them went to Mauritius. They traveled everywhere, wherever they could find ulama. The Pakistan, loads went to Pakistan. A few brothers went to India as well, and there were places to study. There were lots of places to go study, and everyone was going everywhere. This was early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and then mid 90s is when it started to hit the community. It started to become something where there were dinners, there were gatherings here, and late 90s and early 2000s, the ISOCs really caught on. Islamic societies and universities really caught on around that time. So I think that's what you're trying to describe. Because when you came back at that time, I don't think there was much going on. You're right.
And I think it takes a lot, credit to our parents and our elders who actually gave that push and had the vision to basically, allow their children to go abroad. It's a big thing to travel abroad, especially youngsters. But mashallah, they put their trust in Allah, tawakkul ala Allah, And look, subhanAllah, the fruition of that after so many years, that's still sadaqah jariyah for our parents, for our elders, anybody who had a hand in that. Is so important. And now people have kind of just spread out all over the world. I know a lot of the students, like Imam Zaid Shakir he was in the same college as us when we were studying together, and every morning we used to see him. He was a senior though, mashallah. Imam Zaid Shakir from USA.
Wow.
Co-founder of Zaytuna. And he used to tell us off, actually. It reminds me because every morning he used to catch us outside the university having biscuits and kazuza, like we used to have bottles of Coke and things. We were British, so that's what we were accustomed to. And every morning he used to tell us off, say, you guys really need to be going in on time and you guys really need to be doing stuff. Sorry, I need to be, just 1 second, Rajah.
Yeah, okay, cool, no problem. Abdurrahman, this is a great time. I just got a message. I've got a little one just like her.
I'm going to be with you 1 minute. My daughter's come to me, so I got to come back.
What's wrong? How old is she? Why is she upset? I've got a little one just like her. Where's Eliza? Eliza, one of your friends are upset on TV. You put it on the big screen. They'll love it. Can you do this? Yeah. Anyways, I got my tea now. Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khair. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. And anyways, while Brother Harun's away, Abdurrahman, you were asking me when, and now is a great time. Let's go to that little break and make it big screen for us, please. Bismillah. 3, 2, 1. Go, Abdurrahman.
जश्न आमद रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह बीबी आमिना के फूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह ओ जश्न आमद रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह बीबी आमिना के फूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह जश्न आमद रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह बीबी आमिना के फूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह जश्न आमद रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह बीबी आमिना के फूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह.
So how do you feel, man, when you see stuff like that, when you see clips like that, you see other people enjoying it? MashaAllah. Allah bless you. It must not be easy.
That was a long time ago. It feels like a lifetime away.
What are you talking about? It feels like yesterday to me. You know what? That's the weird thing, okay? That's the weird thing about entertainment, or you know what I mean by entertainment.
Yeah.
That's the strange thing about these videos. People see my videos, and when they see me, they'll say, oh, I just saw your video the other day. Thank you so much. Like as if I just did it. Or my psychology is right there where I did that lecture about 15 years ago. Obviously, I've moved on. I'm not that person. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But nobody else sees it that way, bro. I just saw that that video on the screen just now, and to me, you just came off stage. How did you feel? How was it?
Oh, subhanAllah. Sorry, my daughter just came back. She was being asleep, and she actually came back and came downstairs. So her sleep was disturbed, so I just told her.
Is it because of us? Were we too loud? Am I
too
loud?
No, she's upstairs, but literally sometimes she just does that. She'll wake up and she'll wonder where everybody is, and she'll come downstairs.
How many kids you have? How many kids do you have?
3.
3, mashallah, tabarakallah. Is that the youngest or the eldest or middle?
Mariam is middle.
Middle child.
The only girl, so she's a princess, yeah.
Oh, you got 2 boys with the princess in the middle, poor thing. That's a good one. I've got a young one, so she's got 2 older brothers, so she's like, like that. And then, mashallah, tabarakallah, it's nice. Listen, I gotta ask you a question, okay? So when did this happen then? So as you came back, you found that, you were saying it's not,
there's no gatherings, there was nothing in the form of what we were doing, which had that kind of touch of the East, so to speak. And then we were also born and raised here in the West, and then we had also roots from our elders from the subcontinent. So we kind of married the 3 together, came into gatherings, and we were doing local gatherings, and then we got invited onto bigger platforms. And it just took off. I think our first major tour was with Islamic Relief, mashallah. They used to always do all the biggest events and the biggest tours, and Dr. Hani al-Banna became a very personal and close friend of mine, and Allah bless him and give him
Ameen.
however many years Allah can bless him would give him, because that brother, mashallah, he is doing so much good work for the ummah.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Absolutely, I agree. We did a tour together. We did the tour. Where did we go? We went Birmingham. We went Bradford,
I think Glasgow and London.
Glasgow. That's the one. We went all the way up to Scotland. That was an interesting trip for me.
Yeah.
We went all the way up to Glasgow. And you know what? Who went with me to Glasgow? Was Amin alive back then? Was it yourself? Okay, it wasn't Amin. It's first time I went to Glasgow was with a brother named Amin Siddiqui, rahimahullah. He passed away. But we've always loved the Duffs. Where is the mascot, by the way?
The mascot's still with us. He only comes out every so often.
Do you still use it? When was the last time the mascot was out of prison?
Mr. Duff, he came out. Actually, it's been a while. Yeah. It's been more than 12 months. So.
It's been more than a year. Mr. Duff's been in prison, right?
Yeah.
In a closet, poor thing. Allah bless Mr. Duff. We love Mr. Duff. I'm telling you. So our tour was really nice. I remember spending that time with you guys, Brother Yassine, everyone. I think the best one that I enjoyed the most was in Birmingham, actually. I think the one in Birmingham was a really big stage, and I actually got to sit for a while instead of running around, and I got to sit for a while, and I got to listen, and I got to really enjoy the Duff. But I'll tell you when I really enjoyed you guys, okay? The time I really got to listen, and I got emotional, actually. I got quite emotional with the Duff, because it was a really good sound system as well, was when we had you at the Dorchester Hotel, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah, mashallah.
I remember that. You remember that? The
I still remember the food. Oh, the food is amazing, huh?
That food I can never forget. And it wasn't just the food, it was the atmosphere, it was the venue. You know what, so many times people have mentioned that and saying, oh, when are we going to have the Dorchester again?
Well, that was I mean, you set the bar. You really
nobody's reached that bar again, have they?
No. I remember when you actually phoned me and you told me I'm doing this, and I was like, wow, that's like, really far and out there. And then I think a couple of weeks later you said, it's on, it's happening.
It's on.
Let's see you there.
You're talking about when we that was when we were first establishing the Eid Celebration Committee, the official body for the UK, and we set that up in 2004, 2005, and then 2009 was the first time we're at the Dorchester Hotel, and that's when it became proper official. And alhamdulillah to all the guests, to this day and forever, I'm going to be grateful to all the presenters, all the hosts, all the speakers and the sheet artists, but also that dinner I was especially happy with was the guests that came, the way they supported the Sunnah revival. And I have some stories, but no, this isn't about me, this is about you. So I have some stories to tell about that, maybe later if we have time, but there's amazing people there. Support from them has lasted till now, and we're still growing, and more locations are popping up. But yeah, so coming back to, Sham, tell me how it came together. When was your first gig? Islamic Relief was the one that kind of took you off, isn't it? And then you had your first CD, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the story of the CD, because I'd traditionally I was pretty much into like music. I would say, like most youngsters growing up, trying to become into the hip hop culture and do this and that. So I went to America.
As you do.
So I went over to the States and I started living out there. And I was working in some studios in New York, actually. And with quite some hot shot producers of the time, actually, at that time. And I was trying to kind of go really into the mainstream music industry. So I was working, producing and engineering.
Where?
In New York, in New Jersey.
New Jersey, okay.
New Jersey first. I mean, you guys must have heard like Kool and the Gang, right?
Of course, man.
So,
celebrate one Eid. Come on. See, I have my own version of that song.
So their producer, he was actually a Muslim, Royal Bayan, his name is.
Wow, I did not know that. Wow,
he was the original guitarist for the band, and then he became a producer, and then he produced another group which was super hit. It was called Color Me Bad. If you're American,
No
you
way!
yeah.
Really?
So,
Wow. So you worked
yeah,
with him
so
there.
this brother, yeah, this brother, mashallah, he's a really good brother, mashallah. And he was practicing the deen.
What's his name?
Okay.
What's his name?
Royal Bayan.
Royal Bayan. Okay, cool. Cool. Do you still have contact with him by any chance?
A few years back, I did, mashallah.
I have a request. If you ever speak to him again, I have a request for them. I would love for Cooling the Gang to sing my version of Celebrate. You know that? Because I've got my own version of that song. I would absolutely pay for it. I'd be happy over the moon if they sing my version of that song. Hi, darling. Hi, princess. Salam alaikum. Did we wake you up? I'm so sorry.
Well, Jalal, she's not going to settle until I actually take her up to bed for a few minutes and I'm going to settle her down.
Come back. Go.
Play a slide, and I'll be back in a few minutes, inshallah.
No problem. No problem. Lot of love. Give daddy kisses. Take care of her. Come back when you're ready. I'll be here, inshallah. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Brothers and sisters, this is how you do it right here. Brother Harun just showed everyone this is how you do it. You be the dad. This is the daddy. This is how it works, my brothers and sisters. You look after your family. You look after your little ones. And Abdurrahman, let's get a clip next to me and where that window where Harun was. Get a clip up. Let's watch another clip, inshallah, while we're waiting for him. Put on another one of these beautiful Sham clips for us. Jazakumullah khair. Ready? Set. Oh, and actually, for a couple minutes, you can wait. Never mind. Carry on. Carry on. Beautiful, mashallah. Brothers and sisters, I have a request for you. I think someone will play the next one. Get the next one ready for me in a couple of minutes. I'm just going to put on the next one as well. I just want to play a few tracks from them. It brings back such beautiful memories from the 90s. But I want to ask you guys to please contribute towards the dawah today. Please make a contribution. I'm just looking at the WhatsApp messages now. Apologies, I didn't get back to you sooner. Let's see. This brother is asking for poems. I cannot help you, my friend. Not right now. Sorry. Yep. Okay. A lot of comments. No questions yet. Sorry, say again. I can't hear you. Okay, make sure you mute yourself then, unless you're going to talk to me. Yeah, so I'm going to take you guys right back to what we're going to talk about, inshallah. Okay, so here's some questions. A brother said, can you clarify the concept of Eid Milad al-Nabi? Sure, we can talk about that. Where can you buy a good duff from? Yeah, we'll ask them that. That's a good question. I'm sure they would know. Can the brother do some qira'at for us? Absolutely, he can. And then should the mu'adhin first break their fast, then do the adhan, or first the adhan? Okay, this is cute. This is turning to a Q&A, Fawzan. Good question, though. Sure, why not? We'll answer it. But here's what I wanted to say to you. First and foremost, brothers and sisters, we do have to raise funds for the dawah. I'm waiting for you guys to pledge. I'm waiting for the first £100 while Harun and I are doing this. So I've got the floors open. Who wants that gold medal? Who wants that reward? The angels are ready to write down the names. Sister Farah, she donates regularly, mashallah. Sister Farah just gave the first £100. Sister Farah, bam, bam, bam. I feel like a big trumpet is playing in the skies, and you get that prize. You're that first donor for the evening. Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. And now we're going to see who follows up, inshallah. So somebody match the sister. As-sabiqun, us-sabiqun. If you compete with your sister now, then Allah will put you at the very forefront of everyone in the akhirah when going into Jannah. Ula'ika al-muqarrabun. You will be the highest, nearest to Allah Azza wa Jal. And it seems to me we have our beloved brother Harun back. Welcome back. How'd she go? That was quick.
I just have to carry her back to bed. So.
Are you sure? Because she's going to come back down then, because mine comes right back.
I actually read the Ayatul Kursi for her as well. I told her, I'll leave you 70,000 angels waiting and guarding you. So don't be scared.
Allahu Akbar. Okay, brother Harun, so here's a question. I may as well present it to you now. These are some good questions so we can get the ball rolling. We had our first £100 donation. Jazakumullah khair, Sister Farah, you said? Sister Farah? Hello? Sister Farah, you said? Okay, thank you. May Allah bless her. So we've got a question. I'm going to answer the first one. You can answer the second one. The first one is, should the mu'adhin break fast first and then do the adhan, or should he do the adhan first and then break his fast? The sunnah that I understand from the ulama I sat with is that the mu'adhin, the person in the house, in the family, wherever, who's going to make the adhan, he should first eat the date and break his fast and then make the adhan. And this is from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. When the Sahaba there, Bilal radiallahu anhu, was going to make the adhan, he told them break his fast first, and then he called out. And Brother Harun's here to correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I agree with you. I've heard exactly the same.
Allah bless you. And Brother Harun, the question for you is, where can we buy a cool duff from, a good duff?
Good question. It's become increasingly difficult actually nowadays, but I think there's a company called Remo, R-E-M-O, Remo. They're online. They are quite expensive, but their quality.
But I swear, I thought Sham had their own duffs they used to sell.
We did. We still may have some actually, but the original run that we had done, they've all gone. We repeated again a few times, but now with the current climate and things which is happening around the world, we haven't kind of explored that at the moment. I think we're just going to let things.
Can you still get some more or not?
Yes, we can. But I think even ourselves, I mean, we're using a Remo brand because we find them to be really, really good quality and they're tunable.
Yeah,
as well.
but you can just take the Remo brand and just put Sham's cover on it. Because it's about Sham approved duff. You see what I mean? Sham plays Remo. You can trust Remo.
Our duffs were custom made by us, for us, and we had checked.
Wow, mashallah, that's true. That's true.
That was different.
That's true. Well, khair, inshallah, either which way, I'm with you if you want to make some duffs. Because we got a market these days. I think people would want them, honestly. I just think it's all about branding and marketing. You guys haven't seen you in a long time. If Sham just did another comeback tour all of a sudden, and people started listening to Sham again, you know what? Modern day music, or I'll call it music, right? Modern day nasheeds is more music. If you look at it, I still think people would just melt for your stuff, your voices. I would totally drop everything and listen to you guys. And maybe also I'd say two groups of nasheed, two types of nasheeds I would listen to. The Tala al-Badru Alayna Duff that Yusuf Islam used to play.
Yeah.
So Yusuf Islam had that CD he had. It was beautiful. And Sham. There's nothing else since then. I mean, there's stuff out there, but it just doesn't compete, if you ask me. Because the Duff takes you back to the Sunnah. The Duff takes you back to Medina. It takes you to Medina to Munawwara. The Duff takes you back to Mecca. The Duff takes you on the caravans. The Duff takes you to the desert. The Duff takes you to beautiful places. For me, the Duff takes me to when I was 5 years old on the side of a mountain in Afghanistan in the Jaji village, and the tents were there, and I don't know who, but someone was getting married, and all the women had the Duffs they were playing, and then the men in the middle, they had a big circle, the Dabka style Afghani Atan, they call it, and they had the big drum ding-a-ding-a-ding on both sides, and the men were doing a big circle. So I remember things like that, incredible sight. So anyways, so I think that you guys have set a standard as well, mashallah. But yeah, the last time I heard all of you together was at the Dorchester, I think, or maybe it was at a One Eid event, actually, maybe, I don't know. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I think when you said with online marketing and things, I've noticed that things have changed a lot, and especially with a lot of what's coming out now, the nasheed artists, and it seems to be very social media driven. It is a social media age. This generation is all social media, but it's difficult for us. It's like almost like a double-edged sword, because with social media, I say with the ulama, it's a bit different because they're constantly putting out talks, etc. I've noticed with some of the nasheed artists that, I don't know, it's very personal, like in terms of it's involved with exactly everything you're doing, with perhaps which is not involved with nasheeds. I don't know, I'm going here today, I'm going there today, I'm driving my car, I'm combing my hair, and it's all on social media. And I'm thinking, well, actually, that's got nothing to do with nasheeds, I can appreciate if you're putting out your videos, or you're going to teach on, or anything related to that, but it's not about you as an artist per se. It's your art. So we came kind of very.
You guys should let me manage you. You guys should let me manage you. You guys should just come to me, let me manage you. Subhanallah, man. You're totally wasting your time even saying those words. You don't realize you guys just need to go back to your duffs. You need to focus on what you're doing. You need the right person to drive you. I'd love to do that. Because you know what? Social media, all that stuff, it does its own thing. You just need to do what you used to do. You just need to do that. You guys just need that duff. You need to write your lyrics. You get the nasheeds out. Some of the classical, I mean, some of them are what you're just pretty much repeating, like Tala al-Badru alayna. That's just there. And then you have other songs, and this is it. This is it. And I think you guys should just call me.
Well, maybe that's a conversation we're going to have right now.
I would love to, honest to God. I would drop what I'm doing. I would love to bring you guys, because I'm just not happy with what's out there. Because you see two things, right? So the Sheikh, the people I studied under, I was very strict. I still am. I'm still very strict. It just doesn't look like I am. So people ask me questions, and I'm like, don't ask me questions unless you want the answer. I don't force my answers on people. But if you ask me, I will tell you. So someone asked. And when they asked the question, I was like, listen, music is haram. There's no question. There's no question to be had. But that's not the issue. Because people in music have the fitna. So if they're upon fitna, they're going to look for opinions. Let's leave that aside. What I'm more concerned with is how I came to Islam. It was partly music. It was spiritual poetry. It was the call. It was the duff. It was the drum. It was the memories. It was little trinket that pulled me back and yanked me. And then I went to the masjid and everything changed. So I think everyone has a bridge to cross. And I just cannot just knock this industry entirely. But when it came to people like yourselves, and I promise you, you were specifically asked for some style of nasheed is what pulls the heart and makes people not just think Islam, I love God, like you said, check out my hair, check out my car, I love Allah. It's a mixture of that stuff. Fine, it's a bit hip-hop nonsense. Put that aside. The traditional sound, it still pulls you towards listening to the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. The traditional sound or voice will cause you to look back and think of the tariq. So hip-hop, I think it has its place for certain types of people, but generally across the board, even the youth, subhanAllah, we need you guys back on stage. I mean that. Scholars need to lecture, but really right now, this is an era where people cannot focus for more than 3 minutes. Social media has killed the brain. So unless you have a duff, they're going to look away.
Well, there is something profound in obviously the beating of the duff itself. There's a science. There's a whole science behind the duff.
Absolutely.
It's not just a simple instrument that's played, but there's a great science behind it. And then obviously in the art of nasheed itself, maqamat, the different melodies, the tones, everything that we have, the science of reciting the different maqams, it's just, it will blow your mind in terms of the science behind it. It's not literally, I want to just get up and sing. Yes, mashallah, that's great. But if it's done properly, that's where that impact, when it hits people's heart, that's where that comes from. That science, that spirituality, that deep spirituality. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying the science that's behind
No, it's okay. It's okay.
The people behind this.
Hey, man, I'm sure if you're selling it, it's gonna affect you. You're gonna taste it. So when you're telling people and you're singing to people about the Prophet ﷺ, the other day someone was singing. I can't remember who was it. Someone was singing a song, a nasheed, and I thought, wow, what a beautiful voice. And when I thought that, I thought to myself, I wish I could sing like that. And it wasn't that I like nasheed. I really don't. And it's not that I want to look towards music or anything. It's more, I wish I could sing like that. And if I could.
That expression, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I could express myself. I could express myself to my Lord like that. I'd be crying night and day. So I said that. I said, this person singing, he must get so emotional when he prays or when he decides he wants to make dua. And then someone said to me, that but when you're in front of that stage, it can really hurt you. It can hit your ego. It can attack you. But I thought no, whatever it is in private, when they're singing on their own in their house, to their wife, to their family, to their children. Come on, that must be incredible. And then Qadis, reciters. Brother Harun, someone's already asked, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now's a great time. Give us a few verses, maybe one or two, if you don't mind.
Verses of
Quran. And then later, after that, maybe even one of the knots, inshallah, of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا.
And non-Muslims especially, why music's haram. Because non-Muslims find it the most odd. They're like, well, what's wrong with music? Music's good for you. And I said, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And they're like, what? And I was like, music's great. It's good for you. It's great. What does it do for you? It pulls your heart. It makes you emotional. It takes you somewhere. They go, exactly. I go, you might listen to Beethoven and feel like this sounds amazing, and you want to go get a glass of wine. So it calls you to something, doesn't it? You have to break open that beautiful bottle of something, something, something. I don't know those weird names. There's a whole usul about the bottles of wine and the aging and whatnot. But anyways, so now you come out of that kufr, you go to Islam, it's the same thing. The music calls to you. It makes you, pulls you to things that are haram. Girls, romance, love, breaking marriages, or hatred and anger and fighting and killing and this, that. There's always some angle. But the number one thing I found about music was that because it pulls the heart, so does the Quran. The Quran is beautiful and pulls the heart by the melodious tone. It pulls you when you hear Sheikh Abdul Basit or Ar-Rifa'i or Sa'ad al-Ghamidi or Abu Bakr al-Shatri. You hear these Sudais and Shuraim. You hear that they pull you, Hudayfi. They pull your heart towards Allah Azza wa Jalla. Now imagine, the music does the same. So I can see why Allah would forbid it as the flute of shaitan, because the Quran pulls you towards Jannah and music's going to pull you wherever, something else. And the point of that is to focus on Allah. So وَمَا خَلَقْتَ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I haven't created you for play. I've created for your worship. And that's why I believe music was the flute of shaitan. But when it came to Naat and Nasheed, very different. And I think Nasheed kind of gets to the borderline. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say that, certain music, especially, it's to do with the gigahertz and the wavelength that is all at. There's again, it's deep. It's not just what people are listening to. There's so much involved, especially in shaitanic music. Especially, it's very dangerous, very, very dangerous.
But you know where I grew up, right? I grew up in the southern belt, so I'm talking heavy metal. I'm talking heavy metal, and E flat was a forbidden note. Many people, I don't know if y'all know this as Muslims, but E flat, there's a tone. It's called the devil's note. The devil's note is just forbidden. And this is the Christian church forbade it decades and decades ago, because they understood music the best. I mean, they've studied music for decades, hundreds and hundreds of years. They love music. So they found that this musical note pulls the heart to do evil deeds. So there is certain things in music that if you're not careful, but you know what, the voices that call to Allah Azza wa Jal, the voices and the duff and the drum, the Prophet ﷺ said, the sound of the drum makes it makes the camels move faster in the desert, and he praised it, or he allowed it for weddings, he allowed it for happy occasions, he allowed it for jihad, he allowed it for all kinds of things like that, for motivational spiritual sounds. So I know that there is the music, or the musical ability of a human being, can be used for good in terms of calling towards Allah, like Dawood alayhi salam. But I think people are gifted, Brother Harun, and when they're gifted, they really, it's a difficult thing to sacrifice what makes sense, what's easy, what's simple, to what actually you should be doing, which could be quite difficult. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. So let me take you forward. I mean, I was saying to you, I was in America.
Yeah.
So I was living out there, and then I went over to LA from New York, and I started working in studios in LA. And again, I was working with some big names out there in LA.
Like who? So we know we had Kool in the Gang, and what was the other one? Color Me Bad. Go on.
So in LA, actually, I was invited to go to the house of, I don't know, this, actually, if you're older than me, you will know this guy, right? James Ingram. This guy, he was produced by Quincy Jones. Right?
Yeah, I know Quincy.
Yeah. So I mean, he was a really big
Quincy.
deal at that. But the ironic thing was, because I was working out in a studio in Santa Monica in LA at the time.
Yeah.
And he was a friend of a friend, and then he had heard that I was here, and obviously I was Muslim. So when he invited me to his house, the first thing he asked me to do was, say, could you please call the azan for me? So I literally was, okay, you know. I went and I called the azan in his house. He says, I must hear this call to prayer.
In Quincy's house?
No, this is James Ingram.
James Ingram's house.
Yeah.
Was he interested in Islam at the time?
Well, apparently he had just come back not long ago from Brunei. So he was, as crazy as this sounds, he was sent as a birthday present to sing for one of the wives of the Sultan of Brunei at that time. That's what I found so funny. And then he said to me,
may Allah bless the Sultan of Brunei with guidance, and bless him with good health, and bless him with more success.
So he said to me, says, could you call? But look, I mean, what he had taken back from that, though, he was in a Muslim country. He heard the azan.
The adhan, he heard the adhan. Yeah.
He heard the azan, and he was taken back by the I guess, you know, the notation, the maqamat of the azan, and it impacted him. So the first thing he says, could you please recite the call, you know, the azan, which I've heard there in Brunei. You know, very, very lovely guy, by the way. Very lovely guy.
MashaAllah, that is amazing. Who else? Tell us more. Who else?
Okay, I met MC Hammer, right? MC Hammer.
The Hammer. Yeah. Hammer time. No way. You did it, right?
So, yeah, I mean,
wow.
Look, I was really out there to make it, you know, in the music industry. And but, you know, subhanAllah.
It sounds like you were quite close. It sounds like you were right there, bro. Especially people like Ingram and Quincy.
Well, I mean, I was just a young kid at the time, don't forget. So I just had a dream. I had nothing else. But subhanAllah, Allah guided me. I mean, I had already been to Syria at the time. So I was looking to do music, but I thought maybe, you know, I can still take it up again, you know. But subhanAllah, what I ended up doing actually in America was I ended up recording a whole cassette. At those days it was cassette, right? So we would record it on the big MPEX reels and then transfer it onto cassette. So I ended up doing a whole double-sided cassette of the Quran, and then also the first album of nasheeds in LA. That's
no way. Did you really?
Yeah. So literally, the music stayed where it was. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not chose that path for me. And that's how it really happened.
Wow.
I was there pushing for something else, and then, you know, like, for example, you know, meeting, say, James Ingram, and he said to me, brother, please recite. And then when we came back and I saw the guys, this is what I would like to do, this is what I'm doing, this is what I've done. Now we need to just take it forward. And
all right, so tell us about why you picked Sham. Why this name?
Well, you know, obviously why. I've said it about 100 times
say
so
it anyway.
far, and I'm going to say it another 100 times because of Syria, mashallah. The blessings of Syria. But you know, the funny thing is, Brother Jalal, when I was sitting with my friend actually at his house, and I said, you know, all these great bands in the Western world, they've got these slogan names, you know, like ABBA, and then you had Wham. So, and I was like, you know, well, we need a name which obviously defines us. It's also like a slogan. It's a one-word thing, which is just literally, we'll just say what's on the tin. That's it.
Amen, brother. That's good marketing right there. Sham.
And then came the name Sham.
I like that.
It needs no explanation. Apart from the Indo-Pak people, they say, oh, it's nighttime, brother. It's nighttime, yeah. Sham is Sham. So,
I forgot about that. I actually forgot that's what Sham is. It's nighttime. It's Farsi. It's Persian.
Yeah.
So Sham in Persian is nighttime, and obviously they take that into Urdu as well, because Urdu is a lot of Farsi words. Wow, that's incredible, Harun. So listen, by the way, I still have to go to work. I'm not exempt like everybody else. I still have to go. I'm a key worker. So while I'm at the office, I get everything ready, and then I got a 2:30 afternoon live broadcast on Iqra TV, and then right after work I rushed home, and then we've got our evening broadcast with Sheikh Salim and Amry, and then I quickly make iftar and kind of clean up a bit, and then sit down and have my late night show with you guys. So, but it's been spectacular, the spiritual strength of this month, because the Prophet ﷺ, I believe, tell me what you think about this, man. I believe the Prophet ﷺ taught us Ramadan. I think we have two things backwards. Ramadan is always physical activity: run tarawih, run work, run iftar, run suhoor, run tarawih, run work. And it's like a physical cycle for decades. It's just killed everyone. It's just killed the spirituality. People are just physically in Ramadan, and every Ramadan goes and they're like, oh, I didn't do enough. And it's like, what do you mean do enough? And this is the thing that always blew my mind away when people said, I didn't do enough. What do you mean do enough? Ramadan is not about doing lots. Ramadan is about quality. It's about spiritual quality. So I find that that the Eid Salah was Christmas dinner for the Muslims in the West. In the UK especially, is Christmas dinner. I don't care what anyone says. You pray Eid in the mosque, men only. Brother Harun, if you miss the Eid Jamaat, what do you do?
If you miss the Eid Jamaat, and like, for example, in my area, or just as a person?
Period. You go to the Jamaat, they've just said salam, salam, you missed it. What do you do?
Interesting question, actually.
Most people don't know this. The Prophet ﷺ ordered you still pray 2 rakah. So you miss the Jamaat, you pray 2 rakah. A lot of people, oh, get out, next Jamaat, next. No. No 2 Jamaats. No. You miss the Jamaat, you pray 2 rakah by yourself. And you still have to pray 2 rakah. That's Salatul Eid. What I wanted to tell everyone was Salatul Eid was done how the Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So the way you guys were doing it in the UK when I first moved here was men in the mosques, women at home. Eid Salah is not in the mosque. Women at home, children bored, elderly bored, no da'wah to anyone. You've completely disobeyed the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's not Eid. That's 2 rakah. Men go to the mosque to pray 2 rakah, and women miss Eid altogether. And majority of Muslims did not know this. When I told the ulama of the Salafis, the Obandis, Brelvis, Hanafis, Tablighis, I spoke to everyone I could find. I said, what do you say of this evidence that I'm presenting you? And they all agreed. They all said the similar thing. They all said, we just didn't think about it. It's Eid. You're right. We didn't think about it. You're right. Only one group said that women shouldn't attend. And I thought, well, you love the Prophet ﷺ enough. I think you'll realize you're wrong. Because the Prophet ﷺ ordered women to attend. You don't have a choice. You don't avoid it because, oh, it's inconvenient. No, you facilitate. You spend money and you make it easier for women to attend. You don't say, oh, women can't attend, it's outdoors. Anyways, point 1. Point 2 was to establish that sunnah, bring the men out, give the women their platform, let the women pray. Every Eid, women come out crying. Beta, I'm crying. Well, I've never prayed Eid before. And I was like, really? Yeah. What is this? Allahu Akbar 7 times. I've never seen this before. I thought we were praying like the Shia for a minute. And I thought, this Rafal Yadayn is from the Sunni as well. It's just beautiful. I'm just making a point. Women were like, I didn't know. They had never prayed Eid in their life. And this was massive wrong. So Eid was pray in the mosque, men, and then sit at home and have Christmas dinner. That was Eid. And alhamdulillah, a lot of people today, they don't see Eid that way anymore. It's changed. We've changed it. But Ramadan was the opposite. It was physical activity and no spirituality. And I think this year, for the first time, we're not going to have, I don't think we'll have much of an Eid, but subhanallah, Ramadan at home with your family, focus, ibadah, spirituality, detached from dunya. You have no choice. Death is outside those doors. Death is on the streets. Sit at home and protect yourselves and others. And it gave everyone so much khushu, isn't it?
Yeah, mashallah. I mean, it's a double-edged sword in terms of it's been beautiful actually being at home because I travel a lot. Like yourself, I'm not around much, but I think the difficulty I found this year is not being in a masjid for Tarawih, because every year a friend of mine, and he's a dear brother, Sheikh, his name is Jalal, Sheikh Jalal Salim. He's from Al-Azhar. He leads he has an amazing connection with the Quran. He has a gifted voice. His connection with Quran is something else. And anybody who reads behind him, they're in tears in every rak'ah, because of what he is reading. He is just being directly impacted by it. and he just breaks down in every rak'ah. He's in tears, and it really impacts the whole gathering, and it's beautiful. And now I'm having to listen to him live, you know, every night online. So they're actually still doing it, but he's alone at the masjid, I think, with some of the audio tech people, and they're beaming it live via YouTube. But that's really been hard for me actually this year to miss out on that, physically to be there, because that feeling when you're in a gathering with people, it's just something else, you know. But mashallah, like you say, Allah has, you know, brought this upon the people. It's no coincidence, and whatever the reason is, we got to take maximum benefit from it. And you know, your masjid, your home is a masjid, you know, so you got to make everything, beautify it within your house, spend time with your family, do your ibadah. It's quality time. And you know, I wanted to say, you were saying about one Eid, Brother Jalal, I mean, you won't know it yet, and I think you do, but inshallah, this is going to be in your account as Sadaqah Jariyah for a very long time. This one Eid, because I've physically been there, I've seen it. I was with you from the day one in terms of when you first started it, and I saw you fundraise up and down the country like a madman. Literally like a madman, telling everybody, and people just weren't getting it. You know, they were like, what's this brother? You know, he's here for money again. He's doing this, he's doing that. And you said, look, I got this vision, I got this concept. It took time. It took you years of hard graft. And I've seen you graft over the years. And subhanAllah, you know, last year and the year before, we had over 70,000, 80,000 people in Birmingham alone. And then I heard that there's more than 13, 14 different cities doing one Eid in the parks. There's the Muslim communities out there, the kids, the families, they're benefiting. It's absolutely phenomenal. Brother Jalal, your team, you and your whole team, your family sacrifice, I gotta say, people don't realize the value of this. And it was so needed, because, you know, we were, like you say, the Ramadan and Eid especially, you know, man goes, reads, comes home, gives a bit of money to the kid, has a meal, he falls asleep, the wife is there cooking, cleaning, astaghfirullah, and the kids are like getting bored or playing with their toys. That's not Eid. And I think now when we've seen all these guys come into the park, you know, the fun fair, it's just amazing. So, you know, well done. Allah bless you. Continue to give you some serious Sadaqah Jariyah for that. You're gonna benefit. You'll see.
Just you telling me that story made me so tired.
You will see, inshallah.
I remember. Oops, sorry. I remember the battle, the arguments, the debates, and there's still some people out there still debating. Oh, women, this, that, whatnot. Anyways, yeah, it's a vision that I have to give full thanks to my family. Without my wife, I couldn't have done this. It was amazing. I had a vision, and she was like, I'm an architect. I'll architect it for you. And she did. And she put it together. And then the brothers of Al-Fitra, without them, I'm going to name them just for the sake of Allah, that the angels write it down. Abu Bakr, Bradley, Nazim, Abdul Samad, Abu Isa, Talib, who else was there from the sisters' side? It was Jannah. I forget who the sisters were. Tosifa at that time. Who else was there? I didn't see her. Miss Kaniz from Muntada. Oh, Allah give her Jannah to Firdaus. I wonder where she is.
Al-Muntada Al-Islami?
Yes.
MashaAllah.
Yes, she used to work. She used to teach at the Al-Muntada Al-Islami. She was one of our volunteers. She got us off the ground. Miss Kaniz, I remember now. Nadine, Sister Nadine from Muntada, and her husband Wasim. Who else was there? Amin Siddiqui is number one. I was going to say his name last because he passed away. But Amin Siddiqui and I put Al-Fitra together pretty much. And it's a beautiful story. I'll tell you another time. But he got to see one Eid and he died 2 months later. And he got to see the videos. He didn't get to attend. He was in the hospital. Cancer was eating away at him. So he was at the hospital. But I'll never forget that they thought he'd get better. So they gave him a day out of the hospital. And he was on crutches and 2 people holding his arms. And he came out of the hospital wearing white like this. And he knew we were giving a lecture nearby. And I didn't know he got out the hospital that day. But he got in the car and told the taxi driver with his mom and his family. And he said, take me to this venue. He didn't even go home. After 3 months in the hospital, he comes out. 3 months in a hospital. He comes out and he goes straight to the venue, doesn't go home. He comes to the venue. I'm giving a lecture and I just see this light, this beautiful white shining light from the door. walk in on 3 people holding his arms, and he's walking slowly, and everyone in the hall saw me get emotional, and everyone burst into tears. And I just thought, this is dedication, you know, and it was because of people like these names I mentioned, all those names I mentioned. Without them, we wouldn't be here. It wouldn't have happened. But yeah, it was a vision, the dawah, the courses, the seminars, the lectures, al-fitra. But then one Eid was born. And it was because I feel like that's why I left the US and came here. I feel like that was my purpose. And now I'm looking for another one. I feel like I came here and I saw the UK and there was no Eid here, and Europe, in all of Europe. And Sheikh Salim Amry said that you've revived the Sunnah, and this has been dead for decades and all over the world, not just here. And it is what you said. It's like Sham, you know, Sham, and the Uncle G's will say, oh, nighttime, nighttime. They don't get it. You know, they don't get it. It's like that. Muslims did not get it. That why do you buy a Sham? I'm sorry, Harun. What kind of car do you drive?
I got a BMW.
Okay, I was gonna say BMW. Bam! How did I guess? I didn't even know. Okay, you drive a BMW. I'm Texan. What do you think I drive?
Chrysler.
Chrysler. I did have one. You remember a long time ago? I did have one. That car died. I drive my daily runner, which is an Audi. That's my running donkey. But I've got a Ford F-150. I've got a Boss Edition F-150 pickup. Why do we buy these cars? Why did you buy a BMW? What kind of house do you have? Why did you buy that house? What kind of furniture? What phone is in your hand right now? What phone are we live with? Why? You see, there is a role model in society that is designed and developed to make you want things. And you will want things based on those influences. And what I saw when I came to this country was children going to college, going to uni. I was seeing all of them because I was lecturing at all the levels. So when I was lecturing all the different schools, I saw the different level of kids, and I saw the boys, and I saw the shavings of the faces or the hijabs coming off or whatever. And I saw all these different things at different levels, and I realized that the vast majority were influenced when they were very small. And when they were very small, they liked the BMW. I mean, that's a bad example. I don't know how else to put this, but they saw what Fred and his dad has. My best friend, his name was Fred. Fred's dad, Fred's mom, Mrs. Stanley, Mr. Stanley. You know, those are the people, the Jeffersons, my friends. And I'm not talking about the TV show, my actual friends, their parents, the Jeffersons. What they had, it was because we came here, our parents, our grandparents came to the West as second-class citizens, and they were treated as such, and they behaved as such, and they made the kids feel as such. So when the kids grew up, let me tell you what it boils down to. My friend's dad, my friend's mom, my friend's birthday, my friend's Christmas, my friend's Halloween, my friend's Easter, my friend's Hanukkah, my friend's Diwali, my friend's this, my friend's that. What do you get as a Muslim? And I don't mean ambala. You get laddu, okay? You get laddu that was made by your cousin in the kitchen. I'm just saying, for decades, it was a very cheap mentality. But the parents were not cheap. They were not cheap. The parents bought a BMW. They bought Mercedes-Benz. You know, they bought the 3-bedroom house. They did whatever it took because they saw Harry and Sally and they imitated. They loved what Harry and Sally had and they imitated. This psychologically drilled the children. And I'm not judging people. I'm speaking from experience. When I was a little boy, I went outside in Houston and there were fireworks. And I was like, wow, first time. Imagine you've never seen fireworks in your life. Yeah. What in the world is that? The last time I saw this was in Kabul, and there was a bomb exploding and almost killed my whole entire family. I'll never forget that trauma. So I was a war child, so I'm still traumatized from that. I remember those things. So when I came to Houston, I see fireworks. I'm petrified. Why are we watching this? Why are people laughing? Thousands of people in downtown Houston. Why did we come out here? I was only a kid, so parents took me. Family took me. When we got there, we saw the fireworks. I said, afterwards, finished, what was that? They said, oh, that's July 4th, Jalal. It's July 4th. It's Independence Day. We kicked those bricks out, you know, whatever the story was. My point is, when we were done, when we came out of there, all I could think as a little boy was the government paid for the fireworks. Like, I don't know if those are the right words, but the institution gave me that. There's no way my parents paid for that. There's no way Muslims did that. There's no way the community, that was government level. Like almost like after God to a child. Do you understand? It's like that is the ruling authority. But now I'm older, and I know that was all a sham, and I know that was not true, and I know that was all fake. It was community members. It was taxpayers' money. It was the community members. It was council, the city hall, and the councilmen and the people in that community. They decided to put that demonstration together. And then it dawned on me in my mid-30s that I need to make a difference. The Muslims need a footprint. And that's when I came to this country. I was looking for a footprint. What is the legacy? And I saw it. When the men got ready and we got ready, and I saw the women in my house get ready, we're walking out, Eid Mubarak, let's go. Open the door, come on. And the women said, no, we don't go, you go. And I was like, what?
No.
Okay, that was weird. Men went, and we get there. Where are we going? We're going to the park? No, we're going to the mosque. You're going to the mosque for Eid? And I go in, and Uncle G's and sweaty, smelly people walk in, get out, next Jamaat. And I thought, no way. And I thought, this is it. This has got to change, because you know what? They give you Christmas, they give you this, they give you that. Every Muslim knows every detail about Jesus Christ and Christmas. But ask the neighbors about Eid. They don't know. Who is making dawah to who? And it's not about who's making dawah to who. How much do they spend? You spend on what you love and what you believe. So I felt like, you know what, Harun, I think it was, oh, dude, this whole lecture, this whole thing became about Eid. Let me back up a bit.
No. It's okay. I mean, just to end what you were saying, but look now, what we have is we have one Eid.
Well, I'm sorry. That went very big tangent, and I did that because of the children. What you were talking about is that their confidence level is they're first-class citizens now. John and Steve one day will say, bye, take care, have a great Eid weekend, just like they say Merry Christmas. I want them to say Eid Mubarak as well. And we, you know, alhamdulillah, that's where we're at today. And I think you, Brother Harun, and your band, your team, your brothers, your jama'ah, you know, when you walk into an event, a venue, and I shouldn't praise you to your face, I don't mean to, but I have to say this. When you walk into an event, you're doing exactly that. Try to understand what I said about that impact when I was a kid. When you guys walk on with your doves, it's either that print of an image on those kids, or it's fireworks in the sky. And a glass of beer in a guy's hand who's next to you, his name's John, in the back of a pickup truck. And you're wondering why he's drinking that weird looking drink. So which image are we putting on people? So this is your legacy as well, mashallah. And I think, I would love, sorry, I don't mean any offense. I was totally saying it because of emotions. I don't want to offend your manager in any way at all, but I'd love to manage this and help you. Or at least I'd love to help, volunteer.
He can't manage us right now because we're not allowing him to manage us, because we say we want time out. So we're taking a bit of time out to do other stuff.
How much is a bit of time, huh? It's been a long time. We miss you guys. We really do. So that's all it is. Allah bless your manager for their patience then. But yeah, so this Ramadan, I think, has finally been backwards, because the Prophet ﷺ, he had his, Taraweeh, he did it in his house, and the Sahaba heard him, and they heard him leading the prayer, and they were walking outside the house, and it's a wall, but they just decided, Allahu Akbar. They stood like you do at the haram, you know, you're outside the haram and the imam's praying, you don't make it, you're just standing next to the toilets and there's a wall in front of you and you're like, Allahu Akbar. So, you know, the hadith describes them outside. They created a jama'at, and that was Tarawih. And then when he realized, he reduced the number to 6 rakah, another day 4 rakah, another day 2 rakah. One day he didn't do any. And when they asked him why, he said, this is not fard. But what is important of Ramadan is tawbah. List, accountability, calculate, look at what you've done, and then burn it. Don't show it to anyone else, but do that accountability. And I think this has been this Ramadan, after 15, 16 years of one Eid, it's just been, I have to say, it feels like my first Ramadan ever, but it's been a long time. The prayers, the dua, the relaxing time to just do these lectures, what I used to do all the time. It's time to talk. I absolutely love it. And I want to thank you for coming on the show with me as well, because I knew I could relate to you. We could just chit chat, you know. I knew I could just relate. I had loads of stories. I still haven't told you all of them, but I have loads of stories and memories of you guys every time I saw you guys and what it did for me. And I held my kids when we were listening to your nasheeds, when you guys were playing at the Dorchester. I held Zahra. She's mashallah, she's a woman now. but she was only a baby in my arms. I think I was holding her, and I was like getting emotional listening to Mercy Like the Rain.
Yeah.
What's your favorite one, by the way? I don't know if you have one because they're yours.
Yeah, that's a difficult question, Brother Jalan. Very difficult question, but I mean,
You must be asked that question a million times, man.
you see, I'm the main producer for all of the work in terms of its production. So when I spend 200-300 hours in the studio on an album, by the end of it, I just put it away and I don't listen to them again for probably a year or two. And when I do listen to them, I appreciate it a little bit. But in terms of favorites, it's a very difficult one. I mean, I've got a lot of nasheeds which I do enjoy. I mean, the one main thing is whatever we were producing, we made sure that we were enjoying it first ourselves. It was benefiting us, and then we were sharing it. And I think,
I want to say, I think when I see you guys on stage and you're singing, I feel that. I feel that that's happening, mashallah.
I think Mercy Like the Rain, yeah, it's got that place in our heart. You know, Mercy Like the Rain. It's we wrote it for.
It's almost like you're singing it, aren't you? You're not just singing it. You're like you're asking for it, or you're telling it, or you want it.
Yeah, it's we wrote it actually for very young children, but it turned out to be a worldwide hit with adults, children, everybody, and mashallah, you know,
it is childish. No, it is childish. It is childish. When I was listening to it earlier, Abdurrahman played it earlier, and it was childish. I was feeling embarrassed, but I couldn't help it. It's an adult song. It's a fitra song. It talks to the fitra, no matter what age you are. It's timeless.
Yeah, so I think we enjoy a lot of the work that we've done, but inshallah, we pray that.
So one of our audience has a question for you, okay? If anyone wants to call in on the Zoom line, yes, just ask for the link in the group and we'll give it to you. But here's someone's asking a question. How did you take the plunge in the end and decide to leave? Well, this is interesting. I think you already answered this, but I'll go ahead and ask it. How did you decide to take the plunge and leave your family and go away to study?
Well, yeah, it was that decision, obviously, of being involved in the wrong kind of gatherings here in the UK, wrong community, should I say. And then
That's the question, or the rest?
My parents and my brothers decided that it's best for him if he was to go and travel abroad and study and kind of leave this lifestyle that he's getting accustomed to here, and hopefully that will kind of change his path.
But was it only really them pushing you? Was there any part of you that wanted it in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go because I was young and I loved traveling, so it was an opportunity to leave.
So was it more exciting to travel then, not really go seek knowledge yet?
Yeah, I mean, that was my first trip abroad alone, so to speak. And after that, I never stopped. I traveled everywhere then by myself. I spent a lot of years just traveling around the world, enjoying it. And
now, given the current climate and the interesting situation we're in globally right now, what would your
there's not many places left that you can actually travel to in the current climate, but there are, mashallah, that generation, that wave, that our generation, we went, yourself included, and we studied, took this knowledge, this science from people, from the elders. We're now set up in our respected countries around the world. So basically, I think people need to seek out those people and actually spend time with them and learn and benefit from them. Because now we had to travel to the Middle East and further afield because it wasn't available here. Now, mashallah, our young ulama who've come back and they've learned and they've benefited, they're actually doing some really good work. And so I think it's important that we kind of support them and benefit from them. There's many, you know, in America, there's so many, in Canada, in UK. So we need to, inshallah, I think, tap into that. That is a safe and sound way, because especially the ulama who are young and they've been to the Middle East, they're accustomed to the West. So they speak the language, they know the customs, they know how to basically part that knowledge, you know, and what's needed for the West. So I think that's probably the safest thing for our youngsters right now.
I think that's a good answer. Recently, the past few years, they probably suffer the same type of thing still anyway. There'd be a generation gap there also.
Yeah.
But I think it is a tough one. I wouldn't know how to answer that one because let me just see what other questions we've got. Can you clarify the concept of Milad al-Nabi? Do you want to take that one, Brother Harun?
Oh, I mean, I just, what time is it now? It's about 11:15, I think. I didn't have enough time to even just finish the intro of how we started and get into anything further than that because we've been talking for so long. If I was to start on that topic now, it's going to be another ocean. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge out there online. There's a lot of people for it. There's a lot of people against it. But you know what? Ultimately, I think. I mean, I'm not a scholar, so I'm not going to give any.
I think what they're going to ask you next. Actually, they did. They just sent it. It's all about you, though. They're saying, I'm not asking you as a scholar. I'm saying, what do you do personally? Do you adhere to it or not?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me say it like this. I think if you celebrate the Miladun Nabi for one day in a year, that's a serious bid'ah. I don't celebrate it one day in the year. Actually, you know, you're supposed to celebrate it every single day. And how is that? Is that's by showing appreciation that we have this messenger, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who brought the message, the deen to us. You know, that's something to be celebrated in terms of we're grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we've been blessed with this deen. So that, I'm losing you, Brother Jalal there.
Abdurrahman, there's some audio coming in. Is that you?
Okay, you're back. You're back.
All right, I'm still here. Go on.
So I would sincerely say that, you know, reading the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's celebrating him, his birth, knowing about him, his character, the deen that he's left, you know, the sunnah. So this is my understanding of celebrating the Mawlid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every time I'm reciting the sheets in praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is that, you know? It's not just sitting down. I don't put up any lights in my house. You know, I don't put up a sandal or anything on the wall. You know, I'm not criticizing anybody who does, but that's me personally. I don't do that, but you know, I feel that I should be learning to emulate and learn about the Prophet, peace be upon him, every single day to implement his sunnah.
You turn those on, maybe I'll show them those lines.
That is really, you know, you.
Family celebrating something that you don't agree with, that's okay. Keep your mouth closed. I would say don't say too much. Only offer your advice if someone asks, and if they get annoyed, leave it. You don't want to push them away. The last thing you want is for your family to not like you or feel annoyed by you or judge you to be someone judgmental, etc. So just take it easy. And
also, Brother Jalal, sorry to interrupt. It's a kind of a thing of learn.
Oh no! Some of the things they do, I don't want them to ever do it again.
Learn about the seerah of the Prophet, peace be upon him. You know, that's
but no, I'm talking about the things they do on Milad al-Nabi. Some of the stuff that's happening, I never want to see it again. It's not from the Sunnah. I even saw a video from India, some village. They had a gigantic birthday cake, and the guy was singing "Happy Birthday, Ya Rasulullah." I mean, come on. You know, there's you know, when someone says to me with dalil, they argue with dalil, and they have a very good argument. They say, Brother Jalal, how is this harming? How is this? Look, it's good. And I can't argue the harm of it. It is good. Some things are good. But here's my answer. Here's an Uncle G in some village cutting a cake, singing Happy Birthday, Ya Rasulullah. My point is, it starts with something harmless. It goes over there. That's why it's better to stick only to what the Prophet ﷺ taught. When something new is introduced, even if it's good, it leads to shirk. It leads to stupidity eventually. And this is why if the Prophet ﷺ didn't do it, the Sahaba didn't do it, it's not part of the deen. So I say that, but at the same time to the youth or to the people that are fighting in families, do not fight over this. The fight is a bigger haram. Yeah. That's a bigger haram than sitting there talking about, well, do I believe in this bid'ah? Well, if somebody is upon bid'ah, they're not trying to harm you or fight you. Their heart is in a lot of danger. So really, you should feel bad for them and make dua for them, not argue with them and judge them and make them feel smaller or insult them. This is what I'm saying. And I think Sheikh Salim beautifully said yesterday, someone mentioned a group of Muslims And when they mentioned the group's name, Sheikh Salim said, this is an interesting time. In this day and age, what's going on? We need to close the gaps between our groups. And it's better not to say names. Talk about the knowledge, talk about the fact, but don't talk about groups. Don't mention their names. And I loved this nasiha because
look, we
Muslims,
were spending too much time in arguing over these things and breaking. We're ummah. We're supposed to be united, especially in this day and age. We need unity. And in a nutshell, whoever's asked that question about the Mawlid, if you want to do the Mawlid, emulate the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Read and learn about his seerah, about the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him. It's simple as that, and everything else, inshallah. You're doing your ibadah,
This is a spiritual bit of Ramadan for me, man. I just want to play a little clip for you, Harun. Abdurrahman, put this clip on. We're not going to talk about it too much because it's gotten really late. I've taken enough of your time. I'm so grateful because I thought you were going to finish in 45 minutes. I know. I've totally dragged this out.
I love you. Go on for another 2-3 hours. And I've had quite a few messages come through on my phone, so I am going to need to take a few things.
Sorry. I heard Abdullah. Can you just play the video? Okay, let's see.
I don't actually get to see any videos, by the way.
No, you have to watch it on YouTube. I see it. It's there.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim
MashaAllah.
Maliki Yawmiddin.
I'm going to send you the clip, Harun, so you can just have a quick look.
نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم
I just WhatsApped it to you. I don't know if you can see it.
الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
I mean, I wanted to, you can turn it off now, Abdurrahman. This clip is of a boxer who took Shahada in this current climate. I don't know how true the text was, but the text was basically, he's a big, massive white guy, got tats on his eyes. He's quite a strong looking fighter, MMA fighter, I think he is. And he basically, he had the situation with Corona, and he's seen everything going on, and it affected him, and he was thinking to himself about life and so on and so forth. And that he got to the point where he had heard a lot about Islam, and he learned Surah Fatiha. This video is of him just learning Fatiha. It's boxer Wilhelm Ott. When he converted to Islam, this was him learning Surah Fatiha. And I cried when I saw it. And I just wanted to say, end this show by telling everyone, show some more love to reverts and converts out there, please. There's another video I'll play tomorrow night, which really just crushed my heart, is of this new revert sister whose whole family abandoned her, disowned her. The Muslim community were quite a big disappointment. And at the end, she was asking herself, why am I a Muslim? And I can never forget her words. She said, why am I Muslim? Is it for Muslims, for this, for that? Why am I Muslim? For who? And then she said, it's for Allah. It's because I need Allah. That's it. There's nothing else. If I didn't need Allah, I wouldn't be Muslim. But I need Allah, so I am a Muslim. And I just had this rejuvenated love, because one of the biggest things of one Eid was non-Muslims. Where did they go? When they convert to Islam, they leave their holidays, their festivals. Where do they spend their festivals now on Eid day? And I just feel like when I watch this young man learning Surah Fatiha, we take it for granted. And the young lady, the young sister feeling like, I'm Muslim for Allah's sake. I need Allah, nothing else, because she was so badly treated, family disowned, and then Muslims not really helping, etc. And I just feel frustrated. For 20 years, everything from one Eid to Al-Fitr, to everything I've ever done, it's all been about, we are at the forefront, at the front, you know, the bullet or the arrow, we're at the point of the arrow, at the point of the bullet. Because when Islam shoots, its whole purpose is to teach people La ilaha illallah. Long as nobody fights you, you make da'wah. But when they fight you, then that's when jihad kicks in. But really, the whole point of ever in the history of jihad, it's been to be able to preach La ilaha illallah. And Muslims, I just find that we are trapped in this dunya and this coronavirus. If it can take somebody like this boxer and make him think about God, and then he learns Al-Fatiha and turns to Islam, we also can probably make tawbah, not just for our sins, but from our lifestyle, and turn to the non-Muslims and make them priority. Make our neighbors our priority. Spend on the deen, spend on the Eid festival, spend on the masjid, not so much the masjid, but more the institution. Spend on the media channels, spend on shan, spend on groups that are going to sing nasheeds, spend on things that are entertaining people, that are getting attention, that are pulling, yanking hearts. Spend on these things, because in the akhirah, that is all that's going to matter, is what you and I said and did and left behind as a legacy. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless you, Brother Harun. Can you give any final thoughts in terms of spiritual strength this Ramadan tonight? And maybe, who knows, you might bless us on another evening. I'm here every night. Maybe you can join me on another night as well.
I think I would like that, actually. It's been really, really, really enjoyable, Brother Jalal, to do spend this time.
I want to take that as such a big compliment coming from you.
No, it has. To be honest with you, I've limited
myself. Have you heard
myself.
me saying? Are you sure about that? You haven't heard me.
It's been fun because I've only literally done a few of these Zoom calls this Ramadan. I've just tried not to do too much of the radio and anything to do with TV and stuff. Just want to focus.
I feel so honored, mashallah. Thank you, brother.
And I really enjoyed it. I think, inshallah, I would love to do this again and take off the rest of the questions and the discussions. And because we only just got to the part of, where do we get to the part of where we just started Sham, right? We named the group and we just started it. So we'll
let's pick up on that tomorrow night, huh? Part 2. You know what? I'm going to tell you something different about my Zoom calls than anyone else's. The difference is, this is for me. I'm not doing nothing for nobody. I get to sit at home this Ramadan and not run around crazy like I've done for years. And I'm feeling so happy that I get to just reflect on my deen, share a few words with people. But really, I'm talking to me, because I need to force this soul and this body, soften it, and turn it back into who I used to be. Because you know, when you do one thing for so long, like work in a steel mill or work in a factory for a decade or two, it shapes your face, doesn't it? It hardens you. So I want to come back to just being me, and that's what these nights are for. That's what they're for. That's why I started these. So you are more than welcome to join me anytime. Just have a cup of tea like we did.
Yeah, inshallah. I mean, in terms of spirituality for Ramadan, I think everybody knows, mashallah, what to do, what not to do, and how to benefit. But I mean, for myself, for example, this Ramadan, I'm reading the Quran in English. Traditionally, everybody reads it in Arabic. I'm listening to Sheikh Jalal online in Arabic, but I'm reading in English myself to go through, and basically, you know, so I can take really the meaning. I mean, my Arabic is okay. It's not brilliant, but you know, I understand Arabic. But when you're reading in English, obviously, it's my mother tongue, so I understand it better, and I can take away so much from it, and then I can reflect on it and try to implement that. So I think, if you know, there's great barakah in the language, in Arabic language, but if you can try to also read it in English and understand the message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, because we've had many years of people, you know, reading parrot fashion, you know, in the masajid, but they've not understood the message, you know, and it's about understanding this light that's been given to us. So for me, I'm reading in English, and you know, if you guys can, you should read the Quran in English as well. Once I finish in English, I'll go back to in Arabic again.
Well, that was the challenge for my kids. My daughter said, "Daddy, what do I get this year? I'm going to read the whole Quran beginning to end." I was like, "What's that to me? Don't read it. Don't do it. But if you want to impress me and you want me to give you a prize, read it in English. Read the Arabic, read the English with it, and every page you read, write a little paragraph about it in a notebook. That's what I want to see. When you do that, then I'll reward you, because I want to know you understood. Your Lord is talking to you, and you're just, it's like me talking to you. It's like me saying, you know, like when the kid does that to you. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Stop the way you copy me. Stop the way you copy me. Hey, stop it, listen to me. Hey, stop it, listen to me. That's kind of what we're doing when we read Quran. We're just repeating Allah's sounds from his language, from his, not his language, astaghfirullah, his words, his kalam, and we're imitating it, but we're not understanding it. It's like, hey, give me that glass of water. Hey, give me that glass of water. Hey, clean up. What are you doing? Hey, clean up. If you just repeat, when are you going to actually do the actions that Allah is saying? So may Allah bless you, Harun. I commend you. I'm telling you, that is probably the best thing anyone can do, is to read the English translation and actually know what your Lord has been telling you all your life and you haven't been listening.
Know this deen, implement it, and you know, you get lost for hours, whether it's in Arabic or English, but you get lost reading the Quran. You know,
I think that's it. I think a spiritual strength for me this year has just been reflecting on Allah's mercy, really, like you said, mercy like the rain. You know, for me, it's all about Allah's mercy, and He says, "I am to the believer what He expects of me," and I think that's what we need to do. And Abdurrahman, I just messaged you as well. Or you know what, Brother Harun, if I could just ask you to give my love and my salams to the other brothers as well. Maybe if we do a Zoom call again, and when you're ready, maybe they can call in as well. We can have all of us up on the screen.
Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't know we can do that, but yeah, inshallah.
I can do that. You just give me their phone numbers and get them to say they're willing to sit in front of a good, high quality, beautiful phone like the one you've got right now. That's a nice camera.
Actually, I'm on BlackBerry. I've got a BlackBerry phone.
Again?
I'm still on BlackBerry phones. I've had BlackBerry for 15 years. I've got all the latest BlackBerries, all the old BlackBerries. I've got a museum full of BlackBerry phones. I won't leave BlackBerry.
Do they still exist?
Yeah, and this is the BlackBerry Android version. So I mean, this is a top spec.
Oh right, yeah, no, I've got some of those in my workplace. I commissioned
them.
No.
Not I've got them, but I've got this is the BlackBerry Key 2. I'm a big advocate for BlackBerry.
I got commissioned them. Do you guys still do the BlackBerry chat? Is that still in there?
Oh no, none of that. It's just for
that's gone, right?
And I've got like a lot of email accounts.
What do I used to say? BBMe or something like that? BBMe or something?
Yeah. No, BBM doesn't exist, but like it's got WhatsApp and everything else.
Telegram. Yeah, all our normal stuff, not BlackBerry stuff.
The keyboard is something which is.
Oh, you know what? I'll give you that. Yeah, the keyboard's fantastic. Keyboard's always been fantastic.
That's why I keep the BlackBerry, because the keyboard. I can't afford to make mistakes when I'm typing. So, yeah.
You know, Harun, I heard this thing. There's this new technology, autocorrect.
No, okay, that's
no, I'm joking. You know what? I hate autocorrect. It's always twisting my words to say something I don't want to say. But Abdurrahman, you ready? Yeah, not yet. We're just gonna say goodnight, Abdurrahman. You can finish off with that. Brother Harun, is there any last thing you'd like to say to everyone tuned in, inshallah? And then I'll say a couple of words about people donating, and then we can call it a night. But I look forward to having you go on any evening you'd like to come, inshallah.
Yeah,
and when Corona's lifted, I'd love for you guys to come and just for dinner, bring your wives, bring your kids, let them all have a good time. And then we have the retreat room where we can sit down. You'll love this room I've got. And it's the masala room, and we can have our duffs and we can do a proper like little dhikr session. You know, it'd be fantastic, inshallah. After Corona, after it's all gone, you guys come down. We'll go live as well, and we'll have a little moment. We'll do this in person, and then bring the duffs.
I mean, what can I say? I mean, just literally, we request your du'as. We're always in need of du'as from people. We're greedy for du'as because we just don't know whose du'a will be accepted. And so many people, those who do follow our work and have benefited from our work, then please, inshallah, just remember us in your du'as. For our families, you know, we spent a lot of years on the road actually.
Abdurrahman, can you mute yourself? The brother's speaking. Sorry, carry on.
I said we spent a lot of years on the road away from our families in doing what we were doing. So we missed out on a lot of time. You know, we're trying to make up for that. But again, you know, it was a sacrifice that we had to make, like yourself, Brother Jalal. And it's paid off in terms of, you know, what we were trying to achieve. So we're always in need of du'as. And I think, you know, never turn away from the mercy, from hope, from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because one thing I believe I experienced it just today, is that Allah will never not answer your du'as. And I mean, I'm a big advocate of that. It's happened to me in many miracle circumstances. SubhanAllah, literally answered my dua. Just, I'm not saying any, you know, I'm no wali or anything. I'm just literally just saying that if you make dua, sincerely plead to Him. Because, you know, I heard the hadith that the person who knocks on the door of Allah, he's embarrassed not to answer your dua.
Whoever calls upon Allah, Hayyu Qayyum, Allah says, I am too embarrassed to let them go, turn away empty-handed.
And you
So
got to
that is
believe in that when
but
you're
you know what,
asking.
Harun, what you just said about Wali of Allah, I'm more impressed when Allah answers the dua of people who are not Wali of Allah. Because Wali of Allah, his dua is going to be answered. But when someone is not a Wali of Allah, like what you just said, and Allah answers their dua, there's something beautifully makhsus right there. You know what I mean?
So I'm saying to everybody, just sincerely make dua, because you know Allah's mercy, you know, it outstrips His wrath. You know, mercy. Allah is Kareem. So please ask of Him, and Allah will grant you. You know, and that's why I said make dua for me.
May Allah bless you. We're going to pray for you. I ask everyone to make dua for the brothers from Sham. And we pray to Allah that you guys come back together and you hit the road again very soon. We miss you very much. And who knows, maybe we'll get another Dorchester event coming up soon. But more importantly, right now, stay safe, stay healthy. After all this is over, we hope we can hook up and spend some time together. And everyone who is asking about the why to donate, etc., you give to the poor, you give to the hungry, you give to the establishment of Salah, As-Sawm, the feeding of the people fasting, excuse me, all of that reward, plus the hundreds of thousands of people who make ruku and sujood on Eid Day, plus the da'wah, plus the shahadas, plus the courses and seminars. You get all that sadaqah jariyah if you make a donation into Wani today or Al-Fitr today, whether it's £100, £50, whatever you can give something, inshallah. Give something, inshallah. Give whatever you can for the sake of Allah. We've raised £100 from Sister Farah today. I haven't had any of the pledges today, but that's why I don't push fundraising. It's more very light that we need to hit a target of just £500. If 10 people gave £50 each, job done. So if you guys can all just please pledge a little bit. It's Ramadan every night. It's a massive sadaqah jariyah times 10, times 70, times 700. And the sadaqah jariyah of everything we do, you get that reward, inshallah. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless you all. Brother Harun, one last time, please give our salams to the brothers. And we look forward to seeing you again soon, inshallah. I love you for the sake of Allah. I'll give you a big virtual hug there. And you know, this is my Sham kufi, just so you know, okay? That's how I know these kufis. They take me back to my childhood, and people didn't used to wear them properly until I met Sham. And when Sham came out on stage, and I see these very clean, beautiful brothers, mashallah, with nur on their faces, and they've got these kufis on, and they got the white thobes on, I was in love, man. Mashallah, tabarakallah, truly. So, may Allah bless you, Akhi. Thank you so much for joining me today. You honored me, and tomorrow or the next day, whenever you're ready, we carry on with part 2 from where you left off when the name changed to Sham.
Thank you for everybody who's been tuning in and listening and to support the cause, inshallah. Barakallahu feek. Ma'asalam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Abdurrahman, take us away with the tune, inshallah.
If you listen carefully enough, you probably hear the rain falling down. Allah, 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 Allah. Like the rain is falling down, mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down, falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down, mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down, falling down. Mercy like the angels in the rain, mercy like the sun, the moon, the stars. Mercy like the angels in the rain, mercy like the sun, the moon, the stars. Blossoming flowers, bearing fruits, showing us the greatness of Allah. Blossoming flowers, bearing fruits, showing us the greatness of Allah, of Allah. Mercy like the rain is falling down, mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down, falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down, mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down? within us. Mercy like the prayers that Allah answers. Mercy like the faith that shines within us. Mercy like the prayers that Allah answers. Oh, how it gives purpose to our lives, helping us strive for paradise. Oh, how it gives purpose to our lives, helping us strive for paradise. Paradise. Everybody. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down, falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Mercy like the rain is falling down. Can you feel the rain is falling down, falling down, falling down. Allah, 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 Ya Allah. Allah, 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 Ya Allah. Takbir.